and welcome back to another Nextlander podcast. Still, in this day and age, the last free and independent podcast we got going. Turned down our offer from Paramount, Skydance, Warner, Discovery, HBO. It's just not going to do it. Just not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to sell out.
Procter & Gamble.
Yeah. Just throw anybody else in there.
Kellogg, you know. Actually, what Kellogg's not even a company anymore, right? Yes, Raytheon. And Lockheed, weirdly. Kellogg's probably not even a company anymore, right? It's got to be part of a conglomerate.
Yeah, surely.
I'm trying to remember which one it was.
General Mills or...
Probably General Mills, if I had to guess.
Or some kind of... Alex.
Yeah.
How are you?
Now I'm just thinking about breakfast cereal, so I guess I'm okay. But yeah, I'm fine.
Did you know Kellogg's first name as a company was Battle Creek Toasted Corn?
I think I did know that because like Kellogg was a dude who had like a fitness like religion, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
Battle Creek. Oh wait, I'm sorry. The entire name was Battle Creek Toasted Corn Flake Company.
Yeah. We don't name them like we used to.
We've lost something.
Yeah.
In the move to trying to come up with cooler names for things.
I kind of miss when companies were either a dude's name or it just said what it was.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a
Dr. Horatio's Vigor Tonic or what have you.
Battle Creek Toasted Corn is like a fake Cobra front, you know? And like where there's just a hiss tank sitting behind the fucking sign. Brad Shoemaker.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right. Doing fair. Middling.
Fair to middling. Okay.
You know, life is proceeding.
As long as you're not fair to modeling, that's good.
Sure is. Yeah, that's right.
Fair to middling is what the old timers used to say.
And back when we ate our Battle Creek Toasted Oats, that's what we used to say. It's a fair to middling cereal, I think.
Go get a phosphate.
Only the kids are getting phosphates. That's the devil's brew. I had an interesting experience last night. At around 6:30 in the evening, our power went out in a weird way. In a way that the power mostly went out, and then some bulbs just slowly flickered and then kind of dimmed away in a kind of creepy way.
Oh,
yeah. And then there was a little bit there where I was like, okay, is it going to come back on? You don't know. Who knows? It didn't.
Okay.
We waited like 5 minutes, didn't come back on. 7 minutes, then come back out. And then Dad, aka me, jumped into action and be like, okay, let's do this. I've got these battery hookups here. Let's test, the UPSs
test the system.
Test the system. The UPSs are beeping all throughout the house. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh, that beep is so bad.
Everything's going off. I'm like, I've got minutes to enact the plan here. And I did, and I've got a lot of notes about the plan. The plan.
Okay. How did the plan come out?
Did you get your jackery on?
My jackery was hooked up. So first thing, I've got a generator outlet at the outside of the house, as one would for a generator. But that's where I plug in my jackery. So first thing is, and I knew this already, I had to run a cable from the outside of my house to this garage. And then leave the door a little bit open for the jackery. My batteries need to go in the basement by my power box, and I need to put a receptacle there so that they're just inside the house and they could just plug in by the box.
God, I didn't even consider like this move to giant whole home batteries from gas generators. That's like a nice advantage is you don't have to keep it outside anymore.
Don't have to go outside. That's the thing I have known I need to do. And I want to look for an automatic transfer switch. I need to make sure that is legal by code by me to basically just have it switch over to that if the power goes out. The other thing is I realized my DNS, my pie hole, my main one, I have two. One of them's in the garage. That power's gone out. That's not on my backup. I don't power that. The other one is in my house on my server in a virtual machine, which is pulling like 250 watts when it's running.
I see.
That's not a thing that I need to run for a DNS. I need to move that to a Raspberry Pi.
Yep.
Because
that's the play.
Because I'm just doing the math at that point. I looked at my batteries here and it's like, okay, it says I got 7 hours of runtime here, but I'm pulling like 700 watts. 400 of those watts were coming from my server rack, which does not, and I started taking stuff down. My NAS was down, my drive bays were down, and I got it down, but I couldn't turn that virtual machine off or I'd lose. Now, granted, the DNS
Not a lot of
server.
computing going on in a power outage anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, my wife took a meeting during a power outage, and I felt pretty good about that.
Okay.
But, we're talking power outage, mild stakes here, very low stakes, where it's not like, what are we doing to survive? It's like, can people check the internet, right? Can I get online? Could we do something if we wanted to look up information? And that could always change my DNS, the Google DNS or something if I wanted to. It's not a thing, but let's just figure this out. So I need to move that off. My server stuff is one UPS. My network stuff is another. Only 15 minutes of runtime on my network UPS.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long would you wait if you had a backup system to turn it on if it didn't go on automatically before you were like, okay, look, the power's just not coming on right now.
Like 15 minutes.
Turn on like the Jackery type thing?
Yeah.
Probably maybe less than that.
Okay.
5 minutes.
So
I think I'd give it a solid 10 or 15.
Maybe 10, but I'd say anything past 5 is starting to look like a long-term outage.
So this is where I realized in my mind, I was like, oh, the network stuff can run for 15 minutes. That's more than enough time. But I didn't realize I'm going to wait 10 minutes to see if that power is going to come back on, which essentially just gets you 5 minutes now before everything goes down and then has to spin back up, which isn't the worst thing in the world. This is a solvable problem, but in a tested system, it would be better. So I took a bunch of notes and was like, this could be better. This could be better. This could be better. But overall, I was pretty happy with the plugging the thing into the battery. We had our dining room light on. The fridge was still going.
Okay.
The heat was going.
Okay.
These
are the important things.
Yeah. That's really kind of it.
I assume the Jackery gives some kind of runtime measure?
Yeah. So it was about 6 hours, 45 minutes, of runtime.
Wow. With all that going?
With the fridge, my virtual machine server, I couldn't turn that off. My networking gear, and the heat, which is basically just needs enough electricity to open the flue and stuff. It's a gas heat, but
6+ hours is like pretty. That's enough for like a moderate outage. I mean, some outages, definitely outages around here can be like 12+ hours in the worst case, but still, that's pretty good to get you through most stuff.
So I'm not endorsing Jackery, but if they want to endorse me, give me a call. I'm not endorsing Jackery, but it did work fine. And I think what I would do is get another. They're expensive, so I don't have them. Another modular battery to stick on top of that, so that I could extend that or maybe even charge it through the generator while another battery is running, right? So I would try if we had an extended outage. The thing I want to get away from, Alex, were you in Jersey when this happened? We had that long power outage for about 4 or 5 days.
No.
You might have been, okay. You might have still been in Astoria.
I have not had one that lasted longer than a night so far.
Okay. I don't want to run that generator unless I have to. It's just, what a pain in the neck. It's so loud. It's stinky. You need to keep filling with gas. I would much rather run these batteries and then charge the batteries off the generator when I need to, if I can't do it by solar or something else. Anyway, testing the systems.
Yeah.
It was low stakes test.
It's definitely a good way to reveal weaknesses in your setup.
And you know what? After all was said and done, these are all things I kind of knew I had to do already. Now I just need to enact them and check it out. If anybody has automatic transfer switch ideas, let me know. But here's the thing that I was like, shit, this has happened to me a couple of times now, but I feel like a dingus for wanting to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Putting my Xbox, PlayStation, and other things on another UPS. I lost my Resident Evil progress twice because the power went down again at like 11 o'clock, came back up, and then went back down. Luckily, I'm playing on, we'll talk about Resident Evil. This is probably a good segue right into it. Talking about Resident Evil, I am playing on modern. I can save it. I don't need typewriter ribbons. Normal modern, and there is a decent
normal classic.
There's a decent autosave actually in that game.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I don't know if it doesn't. I will say it doesn't autosave quite as often as I would like.
For a Resident Evil game, it's. I'm glad there just is some kind of thing.
Yes, I guess for the series that made ink ribbons infamous, I guess you're right. So I'll say real quick before you move on too much, I will say. The Xbox suspend these days, the persistent suspend, kind of makes the PS5 suspend feel useless to me for exactly the reason you're talking about. Not just the like power outage stuff, but also to patch the game you're running or to update the system firmware, both of which Both of which you can do with the system off, which is a nice convenience feature to never have to sit and watch a firmware update.
Yeah.
But to have those on, they will ignore the fact that you have a game suspended and also kill your progress.
It's more like a save state, right? Like it is just kind of like it's taking a snapshot.
On the PS5?
Oh, no, on the Xbox.
On the Xbox, yes. They are kind of writing the contents of memory to storage so they can just load it back. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
PS5 is the old thing of it's just active in memory, and the second you lose power, it's gone. Yeah. I hope that Sony is not quite the same level of computing company, I feel like. I don't know if they'll get there, but I hope they try to take a similar approach.
Hey, look, everything's an Xbox.
With a next console, potentially, but I just don't even use the PS5 Suspend anymore because of that.
Well, so in this case, both of these cases, I was actively playing when it went down.
You're in the middle of the game. That's different.
Yeah, and the second time I had just saved it, but the thing is also why I want an active transfer thing is like, power went down. It went down around 6. It came back. It was not very long. Came back up around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and then it went back down around 11:30. And I was like, just maybe wrapping up my session of Resident Evil, but not quite. I was getting to that point where like, hey, if I find a save, I think I'm just gonna wrap up for the night and be done. Found a save, and then it went boom, like went down, but then I had to stay up and be like, okay, well. Do I wait until the power comes back on or go to sleep with the power off? And I waited up until the power came back on, which is like another hour.
Going to sleep with the power off. Like just
really,
something about it really freaks me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Really bugged me. And I was like, well, I kind of just want to wait and see if it's going to come back up so I can manage this. I probably should have just gone to bed. I don't know. But I did wait up. And now I have to go back and see. The worst thing about the PlayStation going down like that is, boy, that thing gets cranky. And it's like, hey, your drive's probably fine, but I'm going to tell you that it's probably fucked first.
Another great PlayStation 6 innovation I would love to see is move to a file system that can gracefully handle not being unmounted properly.
Oh my God, you had a USB drive connected to this thing? Holy shit, that thing is probably toast. Let's just check it out for about 3 minutes here. No, okay, you're good. Anyway. Resident Evil, the thing I did not do, which I said I would, which is funny because when we streamed this with Abby Russell yesterday, and I was like, oh man, next time my power goes out in my house, I'm going to turn to my kids and go, they're coming. And I did not do that when my power went out.
I think that's for the best.
It's probably for the best. I was more like, what the hell's happening? Resident Evil Requiem. I almost said 6. Resident Evil Red 9.
Resident Evil Red 9.
Resident Evil Red 9ium.
They don't.
There you go.
They don't say it anymore, do they?
No.
When was the last time? Or what was the last one they shipped where it says Resident Evil at the title screen? I don't think 8 did that either.
6?
I don't even think 7 did. I can't remember.
I don't know. They should do it more. It's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, this game is fun. I think this game is fun. I think this game feels like almost a fan-written game in a lot of ways.
It really does.
Like, okay, here's the setup, right? Folks, we're not going to go into spoilers here, but here's the general setup. Well, look, minor spoilers in case you're on total blackout. I'll just say that. I'm going to blanket
We're not going to sit here and tell you. We're not going to tell you anything here.
Yeah. So I'm up to you switch back and forth. Again, these are minor spoilers. If you're on total blackout, you should have skipped ahead by now. But you switch back and forth between Grace and Leon. And I have gone back a couple of times, but now I'm in I think a longer extended Leon period right now. We have traveled outside of the mansion.
Okay.
Yes, we are beyond the mansion. I don't know how far along that is, but it feels like significant stuff has happened. This game feels like they have been like, well, people really like Resident Evil 4. That's a great game. Well, people really like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Those are great games.
Yeah.
What if we just put them in the same game?
2 great games that game great together.
It kind of works.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. I think Grace, as a character, I'm not totally into Grace.
Yeah.
I think
they're trying for something with her.
Are they?
Yes. They are. Like, she's an anxiety disaster. Like, that's the thing they're trying to do is they're trying to tell a story about a person who has a profound mental condition that limits them in the field of zombie battle. But at the same time...
Hang on. Did they develop that at some point? Because so far,
I don't know.
That is all at best implied, and I think even that is maybe a little generous. Like,
Well,
I don't know. I'm not sure the writing is good enough to sell what it is you're describing. I'm not saying they aren't trying to do that, but
I think they're trying to do that. I'm not saying that they achieve it because I haven't played through the whole game at this point. I don't really know what they're doing. But right now, what they are gesturing, I think, more toward is that that's the character, but they have not found a lot of ways, from what I've seen yet, to make that manifest in actual gameplay. Because once she is in the gameplay, other than the fact she runs real slow, there isn't a whole lot that seems like it's actually limiting her.
Well. Okay. Well,
also she's short. I don't know if that's a problem.
Well, I think they're just going for cartoonish archetypes here because they do Grace as this kind of whoa, ghost, and then they do Leon as a like ghost.
Leon's Leon.
I mean,
Requiem damn near killed him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leon is the action hero 90s flavor of all the Resident Evil protagonists. Like, he is just the most fucking, like, guy who has a one-liner in a Schwarzenegger movie character of the entire series.
Yeah, I mean, even in his legendary rookie cop phase.
Yes.
I feel like he was pretty unflappable and taking everything in stride.
So it makes sense to have a counter character that is not that. That is the sort of, like I said, the anxiety disaster. I don't think it's necessarily going to manifest in any major way in the gameplay. I will say the cutscene they do early on with your mom, where it's a flashback and she's like talking you down from the panic attack. It's very, we read a book on what panic attacks are, but I think it's interesting that they're even choosing to put that at the fore of the game, you know?
Yeah. That sequence is one of the primary moments in the storytelling that didn't super work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. My bigger thing with the setting and the story, though, is like, I mean, Vinny already touched on this. Like, it just kind of feels like greatest hits of Resident Evil.
Definitely.
Which is okay. I don't know. Like, 7 and 8 were such weird, interesting departures, though. You know, it's like 7 was your like Moss People Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like 8, I have a real fondness for 8. I find the further we get from 8.
8 is super weird, but it's weird in ways I appreciate.
Yes, like 8 is just straight out of the gate with like werewolves and a vampire giantess and like on and on, just weird shit start to finish, you know, and a Moss Man protagonist by the end of the game. You know, 8 is a fucking weird game, and like I don't know, to be right back to like, well, yet another Umbrella scientist and another mansion and another Leon Kennedy roundhousing guys. Like, it's fine. It's fine. But it's just not that interesting compared to the last couple of games.
My immediate response to the stuff that I've seen in like the first few hours of the game is that, one, I think the villain is fun. You know,
performance is pretty good.
The performance is good, and I think the look is all right, and I think the way he sort of taunts you early in the game, I think at least it had me like interested in what this dude's deal was, as opposed to someone I just wanted to kill instantly. Sure,
I am curious to see where they're going with him.
But the other thing is that like they're doing such an outsized version of both of those types of gameplay too. Like, Grace is such a initially meek, but sort of like figuring it out kind of character, doing the first person stuff, like running around the haunted house, solving her puzzles and what have you. And then as soon as you cut to Leon, it's not just that he's Leon, it's that he's doing the most ridiculous shit that Leon to do. He is roundhousing dudes and fucking uppercutting them with machetes like 5 seconds after you take control.
And starts the game with the new Game Plus gun.
Yeah.
You know, basically, it's just like, you know,
in fairness,
that thing is amazing.
In fairness, you do lose it right after that sequence.
Well, it's because he gives it to her, and then it's a limited ammo. Then it's her
you have no ammo for it.
Yeah, but I mentioned this during the stream with Abby because it's so fun to watch Abby play, and I've actually changed the way I play Resident Evil from watching her play other ones. But that gun went straight into the bin with me as soon as I had control of it. It was like, well, I'm going to save this for when I have a big boss fight, and I'm going to put this away.
Same.
And she was like, I think the first person she came across was like that maid who was like banging her head against things. She shot her with that.
Yep.
It was like the one piece of ammo you get.
They give you literally one bullet for that gun when you get separated, which is like, I appreciate. That's probably the thing about the game that's growing on me the most. I've been pretty mixed on it so far, but I think now it's slowly the Resident Evil-ness of it is coming to the fore in a way that is starting to satisfy me more.
What would you define those things as?
Like the weapon upgrades, the crafting, like the mechanical aspects of completing challenges and getting points that you can, and like, so like I just got first inventory upgrade. I just got the blood extractor, so I basically just got crafting. I'm still.
It's kind of weird, right?
I wonder. I wonder if you're one character swap past me. Like I'm in the thick of the first really long grace, like exploring the whole mansion. You got to find the 3 quartzes to open the door.
Yeah.
Like, are you on the Leon after that, or are you
no? They go back and forth.
That? Okay.
The Leon stuff seems fairly short for a while, where you just do quick Leon hits.
Yeah, initially it's very, very quick hits.
I think that makes sense because I think that pure action would wear out its welcome pretty fast if they laid it on too much. So I'm fully bracing for that to be the entire last like 3 hours of the game.
So I think what I'm in now feels a little bit more Leon focused, like where like we've left the mansion and things have set up in a way that. More fan servicey stuff, it seems like, but I don't mind it. But Leon's got mechanics, right? Like now we're not just switching over to Leon and you're like, is he gonna have like upgrade stuff? Now it's like, oh yeah, no, Leon. Did you look? Oh, you haven't swapped over yet. When you swap over to Leon, look at his inventory. Because it's interesting. He gets the full briefcase again. He just gets
I have seen that, yeah.
Okay,
because you do play him for a little bit. Dude, that first, not the out in the street tutorial part of him, but the first time you just take control of him for a bit and have to fight all those zombies in the mansion with that chainsaw.
Yeah.
I did not care for that sequence at all.
Really?
At all.
I thought it was great.
You should have seen Abby shot the guy with the chainsaw. The chainsaw went on the ground.
Yeah.
I think jumped up and stuck into another guy.
In his
like,
chest, yeah.
Some of that stuff can be comical. But there is, I don't know how to describe it. There is a looseness to what's going on there that I just really did not work for me from an action game perspective.
I liked it.
I don't think they're going to make you be doing that type of stuff. Or more to the point, you're going to get abilities that'll let you counteract some of the stuff that was not to my taste there. But like, just to get the rest of my grievances out, Alex kind of touched on this. The other thing about the gameplay is I really have not loved the movement.
Oh, like Grace's
movement is interesting.
And Leon's got this like stutter steppy kind of quality to how he walks. Like the camera movement's like tied to his walk animation or something where it just feels like he's kind of like hitching along as you walk, which I don't really love. And also they bury the camera sensitivity settings so deep in this. Like it took me forever to find how to adjust the sensitivity.
For aim stuff?
Or just the camera movement in general. Like
I didn't change them. Are there FOV sliders?
I've seen people complaining about the FOV, which leads me to think that there aren't, because otherwise those people would probably just adjust it instead of be upset about it. So I'm guessing probably not. But I finally just this morning found the camera sensitivity settings because there's like 4 different places they could be. I feel like, and I kept like looking and not seeing them and giving up.
Were they in controls like for the
It's under camera. Which sounds, but you have to click through a thing that is like, unless you're really looking, it's not immediately obvious that you can button through to a subscreen. Like I don't know why they don't just expose the sensitivity sliders along with the 8,000 other camera and aim options. Like this game has the best dead zone control panel I have ever seen in a video game. They full on graph and show you a little interactive stick animation of exactly what the dead zone settings do. But but like, why are the camera settings not there alongside the other thing? Anyway,
I haven't had too much trouble shooting where I need to shoot. So I'm playing with a controller on the PS5.
It was less the aiming in the combat and more just the general walking around and looking sensitivity. I just found unbelievably sluggish. So once I finally dialed all that stuff in this morning, I'm warming up to that aspect of it a little more.
I'm a big believer in the shot to the knee. And then the headshots, they go down pretty quickly.
The thing of the chainsaw thing is just that fucking thing is so unpredictable. And like, like anytime they drop it, it's just going nuts on the ground and you have to wait so long to pick it up that by the time you can pick it up, they're on top of you.
Or they picked it up again. Half
the time I would be picking it up, they would knock me out of the animation of picking it up because I couldn't pick it up until they were right on top. Like stuff like that.
It is a very tight space.
Very tight space. But also I assume the chainsaw is not a factor very often. And you're going to get better weapons and so on and so forth. That was just not the best first impression.
He is, when I play as Leon, he is very rugged. He is very resilient. I think the Grace stuff, which is clearly their move to be a little more hide, like you get your nemesis in this thing where you're just like you're something stomping around the environment.
I hate that lady. I hate her.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, you might not
You're
have to deal with her
supposed to.
forever.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But
so you do get that, and you get, and again, we're talking early game stuff here, but you do get that injector, right? Like the what is it called? The like hemo something.
Oh, so the hemo thing is that's one of the weapons you can make out of the blood.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what you're talking. You're not talking about the extractor. You're talking about
no. Yeah, you can craft them with the extractor, but the thing that makes them basically explode.
I haven't. So I only have one, and I haven't burned it yet, so I haven't seen what it does. But
it's basically like the lighter from the other Resident Evil games, where you can like burn the corpses so they don't come back.
Yeah, so it has two uses. You can use it to stealth kill a zombie that's up on their feet, and you can also stab a corpse with it to. I guess the description was keeps the corpses from mutating.
Yeah, and they basically just explode into like a mist, which is a pretty cool effect. And you could use it on bigger enemies. It takes a couple of them, but it's worth using on bigger big boys. Prior
to like right before getting the injector and opening the crafting stuff up, I did have one zombie corpse like 20 minutes after I had killed her get back up when I came back through. Is that what it means by mutating, or do they actually turn into something worse?
I mean, light spoilers here. They do the head thing.
Oh, okay. Wait, just gonna, man.
It's not quite that. It
really is greatest hits.
Yeah, it's a little different, but they get more aggressive. They do the head thing and get more aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. I was just mostly wondering how critical it is to stab the ones that you've already killed, just to make sure.
So I've been mostly playing. You do get with Grace. You can do health upgrades or I forget what they call it, like critical hit and firepower upgrades.
Oh, out of that in the roulette room with
you can build those later.
Oh,
you can actually craft those, and I think you get like a maximum
permanent upgrades.
Yeah, I think you get a maximum of 5 each. I just went pure firepower upgrade.
Interesting. Okay,
you basically get an empty injector, and then you can craft. You could decide to craft a stamina or firepower upgrade.
Got it.
Sorry, health or not stamina, health or firepower upgrade. I just went pure firepower upgrade because I always in those games I always feel like the ammo is the limiting factor for Grace, right?
Or maybe more to the point, I always feel like if you're taking a lot of damage, you're fucking up. Like I'm a bit of a save scummer in these kinds of games where if I feel like I've gone through something with too much damage, I kind of maybe take a do over.
Look, you can't damage me if you're dead, right? That's right. That's my philosophy. So I just went straight for those, but then I was like, oh man, actually, should I be crafting ammo or more of these single hit injector things? Because they're pretty awesome. The limiting factor on those is you need scrap, and I think there's a limited number of scrap.
Okay, so that was going to be my question. Is I have literally one scrap. I haven't found any more yet, and I was just wondering how
you get a decent chunk.
Okay,
but I think they're limited on the map.
This leads me to another question, and you may not be able to answer this until you finish the game. When you get to that roulette room, there's basically like vending machines where you can buy the first inventory upgrade, which of course I bought because holy fuck.
Yes, that's the thing, of course.
But the other three are two of the injectors you're talking about, one for more health, one for better gunplay.
Yeah.
And then there's one that costs more that allows you to extract more blood.
Yeah.
With the blood extractor, which is the other component.
Yes.
And so at first, my stupid optimization brain was just immediately like, well, you got to buy the thing that increases more XP or more mats up front, or you're wasting all of these opportunities that you've extracted or earned, whatever.
Plus, it's the most expensive, so it must be the best.
But it's also more expensive, which means I'm bypassing character upgrades to get it. And is that stupid?
Yeah.
Hearing that you can craft the character upgrades that I'm talking about bypassing immediately says, no, I should get the blood optimizer, but if crafting is already gated by the scrap you can find, then getting more blood doesn't seem as useful. This is a hard problem.
I will say I cleaned out that entire thing pretty early.
Oh, okay. Do they give you a lot of coins? Maybe I'll just go ahead and
I cleaned it out pretty early, except for one. I was missing one coin, which I finally found on my way out of the to a next part of the mansion. And so that was the health upgrade I didn't have for a while.
Okay.
But I had gotten everything else pretty early.
Did you do the roulette? Did you win the roulette coin?
Shit. I played that roulette game so many times. It kept landing on 7. What do you have to land on?
So I mean, I had to look it up. So I suspected it was something like this, but I looked it up to confirm. You want me to just tell you how it works?
Yeah. What do? You shoot the table? What do you have to do?
Yes, you have to shoot the space that you want to win. Or that
I
you're
was
betting
thinking about doing that, but I wasn't going to waste the damn bullet.
Yes, you have to shoot the space, and there's only 3 possibilities. I've only ever had 7 come up. I spun it like 5 times. I only ever got 7, but there's 2 other possibilities. It's like 29 and something else, but you have to shoot the one you're betting on, and then if that comes up, you win.
Well, since
it's just 1 coin.
Well, that's the coin I was missing 1 coin for about like 75% of my time through there. So I'll mention this to you since we're talking about coins. Sometimes, and this only happens to me once, there are like white looking pitchers on a table, like not pitchers of like water, like a vase or something. You can break those. I found a coin in one once. If you do like the swipe on it. There's
is it a like square looking container or no?
This one looked like a thing you'd pour water out of, right?
And there's no prompt on it. You wouldn't know unless you hit it.
Yeah, I just hit it, and there was you're gonna retrace your steps a lot in that mansion. So if you see them, just give them a swing with the knife.
Interesting.
I can't understand not having a knife in your inventory in that game at all times. Yeah. Even if I never break it on a zombie because it's just so useful to hit the raccoon statues or break certain things. You know?
It's also useful for if they grab you, you can get them off of you with a knife. Although, does that burn the whole knife when you do that?
I think you get like 1 or 2 uses. Sometimes it gets stuck in the zombie, it seems like, and then you can get it back. But that's what I'm saying. I just take the hit on the health. And you know, there's a lot of herbs in that. I'm playing on modern, modern classic, whatever.
I kind of appreciate the resource scarcity early on with her. It's getting less. Like, it seems like, again, my obsessive optimization, it seems like I might end up in a point again where I've got too many herbs and bullets and stuff like that. But early on, like, it's pretty taut with her.
Yes.
Where it's
especially
like,
ammo.
Yes. It's like these zombies are real bullet sponges. Like, I basically have enough bullets at any one time to maybe kill 1 zombie.
And they do that thing. I don't know how you design around this, but like, they do that thing where even if you conserve your ammo and you're being very good and you're trying to do it, eventually you're just going to wind up in a room where they're on some timer and you've just got to fend off zombies. You're like, I had like 27 bullets and now I got like 4, and like, fuck you. Like, all my bullets are gone now because you just, you're like, shit, I'm picking up a lot of bullets. And then you're like, lock the door. Countdown begins, 20 seconds. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. I can't believe I missed that coin. There better not be a trophy for collecting all the coins.
Oh, there has to be.
No,
there has to be. And then the problem with these games is that not only are they trophies, they are also tied to in-game challenges that earn you currency that you can unlock stuff with. And it's not just concept art and models, although it is that, but it's also there are unique weapons.
Yeah,
there are like combat modifiers. Like
you're talking about out in like the menu, like
in that like special content menu where
like
you
the bonus stuff.
Spend your CP to. I assume those are Capcom points to get like there's like gun charms that give you bonuses to the guns and stuff.
Well, here are 2 interesting things I'll say about that. First thing, there was a trophy, minor trophy spoiler, but there was a trophy for stunning the big girl, the sister girl, or the big creeping around.
The big sister.
The big sister.
I might have missed that one then.
With the gun, the Requiem gun, shooting her with the Requiem gun. Yeah. So like, and I was like, well, I'm not wasting them. I gotta waste a bullet on that thing. I don't want to waste a bullet on this. So I shot her, but then I died, or something happened, and I wound up having to reload. But I still had the trophy.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's what you always do. Always. Like that's my. We don't need to get into it. I'm still slowly but surely making my way through my 5 playthroughs of Silent Hill F.
Yeah.
But that's 100% how you do it. It's like I saved until I could buy every Omamori just to get the trophy for buying every one.
And then reloaded.
Immediately reload and then spent the money on what I actually wanted to buy. Like you got to find your opportunities to branch.
Mm-hmm. The other very nice thing that I thought was actually kind of awesome was I was playing and I hit this, I saved the game. And again, unlimited saves on the thing I'm playing on. Saved the game, went into this room, searching around the room, touched the thing that made the room change dramatically, right? And I was like, shit, there was other stuff in that room. There were other files in that room. And the way they list the files you can find is in chronological order that they're in the level, right? So it'll be like, Harry's biography, Denny's thing, and then it'll be a question mark, and we're like, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing one. I've been trying to get them all because there is a trophy, I think, for getting them all. And I played until I got the next, it was like a half hour, 45 minutes, until I got to the next save point where I could hard save it. Reloaded that previous save, found the file, reloaded my other save, and it was on that save.
Oh, interesting. So it's global.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was awesome.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Huh.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Because I was going to say, okay, interesting, because...
And I think that works for the raccoon statues, too.
Maybe I can make you feel better about missing things. I missed the first fucking file in the entire game, and it's in the Wrenwood Hotel, which you can't go back to after the tutorial. So
yeah,
I found every single one since then, so I've got every file except the literal first one.
You should just start a new game, skip all the stuff, and just find that file and see if it loads into your new save. I think it should.
I mean, being the first one in the game, I could probably also New Game Plus it if I really wanted, and I think it's just a challenge for points and trophies.
But I thought that was so generous of them.
I'll try that.
Yeah,
actually.
And made me actually want to put in a save rotation. I was just doing the top save, but now I'm like, maybe I should just do save rotation.
Now, did you have the file on your old save where you could read it still?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, it was there. And like I said, I think that works also for the, it works somehow for the collectible statues that you hit, the raccoon statues.
Mr. Raccoon.
Yeah, because it wasn't on my original save, because I had done it already on my future save. A little time travel-y thing. You know what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So it was gone. I thought that's like very generous, and that's very generous to the player.
That makes sense for the collectibles. I'm surprised they do it with the files, though, because those are story relevant. But anyway.
That was my experience, and I thought that was super awesome, because I was like, I really don't want to play 45 minutes back through this whole campaign that it was actually kind of harrowing and like very actiony. So I am enjoying it. I think the beats with it are, I don't know, fun.
Yeah,
a lot of jump scares. That game is full of jump scares.
Yeah,
reasonably effective ones, I would say. Like
they're okay. Yeah, pretty gory, pretty gruesome. Or Resident Evil always has been a little bit, but well realized.
The more I get into the meat of basically just being turned loose in the mansion. And doing the whole, I found the hexagonal gem to open the commissioner's office. Now I'm plugging this into this statue, and I'm opening new areas and blah, blah, blah.
Puzzle box.
Yeah, yes, and all that stuff.
Sun, moon,
and yes, and the upgrades, and just like I said, the good classic Resident Evil-ness of it. Like the more go figure. The more I like what I'm playing, the less I care about the parts of the game that are sort of just whatever or less interesting to me. Like I'm starting to enjoy the experience more, and that's good. I think I'll end up being relatively positive on it by the end. Hopefully,
I think the only stuff that is at this point in my playing of the game that are still kind of question marks, and like I said, I think I'm in more of a Meteor Leon campaign. Is I think I just need to go back and brush up a little bit. They haven't explained as much as Vinny needs about who Grace Ashcroft is and her mom, and I know she was in like Outbreak or whatever, and like
what?
The mom was apparently.
Wait, really?
The game you reviewed, Brad Shoemaker.
I sure did.
It was Ash. What's her?
Alyssa. I believe Alyssa is her name. Right?
Alyssa
Ashcroft. Hang on.
Like why she was in that game?
She's the Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Again, I've said this many times. Go look at the art.
Right.
Go look at all the character models for Resident Evil Outbreak. It's the most shameless. They have a Tom Cruise. They have a Brad Pitt. They have a Ving Rhames. They have a Nicole Kidman.
I remember that so vividly.
Alyssa Ashcroft is the Nicole Kidman of Resident Evil Outbreak.
So I need to go. Why is she in that game?
Borderline legally actionable. I still can't believe they got away with it. But anyway. I did not know about that connection. That's interesting.
Maybe you can tell me why. What is she? Is she?
Ask me anything about the rich lore of Resident Evil Outbreak.
So, like, where else does she pop up? I don't know. Like, I just kind of want to go figure that out. I think I need to connect the dots a little bit more with Leon, where he's been since we saw him last. Resident Evil has so many dumb twists and turns that it's like, he was Stars. Was he Stars
Oh yeah.
He was in Stars.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Chris was Stars, right?
Yeah, Chris definitely Stars. I think.
I thought Leon was in Stars at one point.
I think Leon eventually is. He might just be RPD.
Did he go to Stars? And then there's BSAA or whatever.
That's like Resident Evil 5 era, I guess, right? Yeah, and now what is he in? The DOL?
Something.
Or
is
DOS?
it DOS?
Was it something?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He's all up in that D. That's what we know.
He is in a new agency now for whatever reason. But did you know Resident Evil 5 was like by far the highest selling of the series?
No.
I saw stats going around
4
in the wake of this.
Still?
That's 5 still.
The sales list I saw had 5 at the top.
What a tragic thing.
That's weird. I like 5.
I like 5.
No, I won't sanction any buffoonery around 5. That game is not good.
Vinny and I, 5 is good. Vinny and I played a shitload of 5. How much did you finish 5?
No, I didn't finish 5 because it's
you
not
can't
good.
say that then. 5, you can't say that.
Yes, I can.
5 was a fun action game. 4 set the table. 5 is a fun action game. It's not without its problems.
I would say they are fairly significant if you were talking about the grand scheme of that game.
But action-wise,
I mean, 6 is worse. I'm not going to stand here and say it's like somehow the worst one of those by no means, but it's not. 5 is not great.
But 4, I would have thought would have outpaced it with the amount of places it went.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how broad this list was. It could have been original version or something earlier.
I might have almost believed like 7 or 8 could have done it.
No way.
Those games did well, man.
But
not that well, apparently.
I think they're too, like, for the reasons I like them and think they're interesting. I think that's also what's working against them being higher up on the list. Is that some amount of people are probably going to. There's a segment of an audience I feel like for any franchise that is always just going to want more of what originally drew them to the audience.
Right.
It's like the whole Stranger Things thing. Of no, we want more of those characters that we grew to love over the course of season 1, even if that's maybe not actually the best thing for this franchise.
Well, don't worry. Whenever that happens, about 20 years later, someone goes back to it and is like, you know what they should have done? They should have done an anthology with different characters or something like that. And then everyone takes the 1 or 2 instances where they did try to do that and holds them up to the light as like, see, this is what the real shit should have been.
That's just, like the 7, being like different setting, different antagonists, no umbrella, like no recognizable characters, new camera perspective. Like I can totally see them losing some number of people that just want more RE4 or whatever.
Well, you know why they were scared to move forward with 6, right? 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 You know why they were scared to move forward with 6?
I don't.
So we're done with this segment of the podcast. Normally, Vinny would do the transition here as we go into the break, but we're gonna go ahead and do here is I'm gonna take over for a little bit here. I'm gonna take over the show for a second because Vinny is having an episode or something. I'm not really sure what's happening, but that's a Resident Evil 9 talk. I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about some other video games and maybe some demos from the Steam Next Fest. We'll be right back.
And we're back. Brad Shoemaker, what else do we got to say about Resident Evil 9?
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 is... These are differences of like hundreds of thousands of units to 1 million or 2. Like RE5 sold 17.1, RE4 sold 15.7. So
these are lifetime as far as you can tell?
Not a huge difference, but yeah, I'm shocked how low. 4 is actually below 7, shockingly.
Okay, so here's the question I have. Are they including every iteration of a game? Are they including just the port? Like, is Resident Evil 4... just the different ports of Resident Evil 4, or are they also including the remake?
Oh, I bet they're not including remake.
Remake, no, this splits remake out is remake is like number 10.
That's the correct thing to do, but I'm just, because there was also a bunch of different platform re-releases of that game.
Yeah.
Okay,
these are all 8-figure sales numbers, like they've all done quite well.
Here's a dumb question for people who really like stats or statistics, I should say. Brad, when did 4 come out?
2005.
And when did 6 come out? Or sorry, 5.
Wait, you just said 5.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You said 4. I'm sorry. You said 4. 5 was 2009.
And 4 was 2006.
5.
Okay, that's a good enough time and a big enough time for the market to have grown substantially, where the percentage wise of people playing Resident Evil might have just grown. Like 4 did extremely well, and just more people, a bigger audience to draw from for Resident Evil.
4 was also a GameCube exclusive for a good while, which limited the audience size a bit.
Sure was.
But then they put it out on literally everything. Your refrigerator can currently play Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I don't remember when the PS2 version came out. I don't think it was that, like a year or two later.
I think it was at most a year.
Look, that boat scene in Resident Evil 4 is pretty good.
So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in Resident Evil 4.
You know what else is pretty good?
I should go back and play that remake. Like, this is giving me the itch to play that, because, again, I am warming to this game, but I don't think it plays as well as quite a few previous Resident Evil games. Just, again, on a control level, and 4 Remake does play very well.
Yeah.
It's kind of making, and they've upgraded that game for the PS5 Pro quite a bit. Like, maybe I'll try to carve out some time.
And then play 6. And then, Outbreak. Yeah, you got to lead right back up into it.
Fucking I gave Outbreak a 7.2.
That's not terrible.
That seems very generous in my memory.
And that seems like an okay game. That's a good. Was that fair? Is that good?
That's good. That's a low end good.
That probably was like a 6 something.
Just
I don't know.
We're counting for inflation here.
Yeah, right.
Or deflation.
Yeah.
What is the sorry, what was the reviewer's tilt? Is that what it was? Tilt?
I might have tilted it up or something.
Yeah. I think 9 is a lot of fun. It moves in a way that I really like. I think the pacing is pretty good. I have actually a hard time putting it down, except for now with Leon. It feels a little more traditional, run around this, bunch of areas, and it's a little more open. But with the stuff with Grace, I always kind of knew where I was going. I never really felt quite lost. Again, I will give them props where they deserve it a lot. And it is, since the 2 remake, their map game has been unbeatable. They have some fantastic map stuff going on.
Very good. Generally very good. There's a couple cases where they do mark doors that can and can't be closed, and in a lot of cases they'll mark what you need to do to open them.
Yeah.
There are a few cases though where it just is a red. There's no annotation for what you need to do to go back there.
I haven't found it if I could interact with it. Do you have one in particular? Like if you can X on it and it's like, looks like I'll need a key. I feel like they generally annotate it.
Those are the ones with the little exclamation mark. That's what gives you the note. And so basically it's like if there's some like locking mechanism there, that's what they'll mark. But if it's just a door that says
opens
like
from the other side.
No, so there's those. I've seen 2 of these where it's like the door is warped and won't open or something. But it looks like
that'll come up later. It
looks very much like I'm going to get a tool to force those open or something.
Let's just say that's not for Grace to deal with.
Or something will happen there.
Yeah. Here's the good thing. They do mark those on your map when it comes time.
Okay.
If you have seen those, they will be marked.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll just take that as something to ignore for later.
Yeah. Well, check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out.
I'm having fun with it. I wish I knew how deep into it I was.
It sounds like it's like I'm seeing average like 12 hours. Like it's not super long. So
okay, maybe I'm like halfway. I don't know. I have to check my hour count. Like I said, I've just been enjoying the ride with it. The spectacle, some good spectacle.
It's got plenty of spectacle. That's for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think Grace's voice actress is fun. Even though I think the character is like so that there's a lot of good scream. Like she's putting it in there.
Why are they sending her into the field? Why did they do this?
It's got to be I don't know yet. It's got to be a setup. There's no way
to be, because there's no sensible human being on this fucking earth would ever send that woman alone into a fucking in the field operation for a murder. She's an analyst, for God's sakes.
Not just in the field for a murder. Hey, Grace, look, I know this is where your mom was brutally murdered in front of your eyes. Which you witnessed. But could you just do this one for me?
Just get in there, man.
Could you just go back to this hotel, which is the exact scene of that grisly murder that ruined your life, and just poke around a little bit?
Just poke around in there, and I think you can handle this alone. I think you just go alone and handle this, and just see you at the after party. Bye, Grace. Sure, I've never been in the field ever. What now? You're still here?
In the 8 year previous flashback, she's like still in high school.
I know.
Like how doesn't she even seem old enough to be in the FBI?
Ah, poor Grace.
I'm sorry. Before we move on, can we run this exercise real quick? I pasted an image into the Slack.
Can I map who all the people are?
Yes. Can you just open that? Can we just close the loop here?
Okay.
This is back to Outbreak?
This is Outbreak, yeah.
The cast of Resident Evil Outbreak, I think you can very clearly see who the Cruise, the Rames, the Brad Pitt, the Nicole Kidman are.
Yes, those four are very obvious.
There are 4 other characters. Is there a single character on here that you cannot very readily map to a specific actor?
So the black gentleman is definitely a Dennis Rodman,
right, yes.
Given the time and the haircut.
And the blonde hair.
Yeah.
The guy above him... Maybe first go-to was
I actually don't remember if that character, does he talk? Do any of these characters talk that much?
I think they have dialogue. They're all selectable, as I recall. You're picking your character to go into an online session.
And again, we're talking about the cast, basically a cast photo from 6 for people listening. Yeah. This is
Outbreak.
Oh, sorry, from Outbreak.
It's all the CG models of the characters from the time. The guy above the guy you were talking about, kind of maybe like a Crispin Glover.
I don't, because that's wrong for the era, though.
Is
it supposed to be
he's a little stuffed shirt,
like an Andy Garcia almost?
Yeah, sure.
But I don't think that's what they're necessarily going for.
It's like suit jacket and vest and collared shirt guy.
Who's next to the Dennis Rodman?
The lady? That's a Japanese woman who I'm guessing is probably modeled on some Japanese actress that we don't know.
That one is harder to.
The only one I don't know is the blonde on the far right, next to Nicole Kidman. I'm sure this is based on some teen actress of the era, but I couldn't tell you which one.
It's Buffy?
Sure.
Is it the actress who played Buffy?
It could be a Geller.
Maybe.
Yeah. That could be a Geller.
She's almost like a Sarah Michelle Gellar, like Elisha Cuthbert kind of composite.
Yeah.
Who's
24
who's
was very
her?
popular at this time.
Is that just Nathan Drake? Who's above her?
Oh, that's the Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, that's
okay,
100%.
I mean, the Tom Cruise is really the standout here with the
so
smirk.
obvious.
That's the one.
It's astonishing that they got away with this.
That one, I find the Nicole Kidman, sure, but a little looser. But that Tom Cruise is really that's just copy and paste.
Even the hair, all of it. It's just exactly his look from then.
Well, so here's the interesting thing is that likeness rights and that kind of thing are very different in Japan, I think, than they are in the United States. One of the ways they were able to release wrestling games full of likenesses that look just like American wrestlers by changing their names was because the legal wrangling in Japan was such that you could do that.
Okay.
But this is a game you were releasing in the United States. So I imagine at some point some lawyers were like, can we do this?
Yeah, we'll just call him Balrog instead of how about M. Bison? There you go. We'll just switch the names.
C. Cruise.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Now
we have to move on because I'm looking at a Reddit thread about these characters' likenesses, and somebody says, I was stoked to see Alyssa Ashcroft mentioned in a file in Resident Evil 7.
Oh no!
So apparently she came up in 7 as well as being an Outbreak. This is a comment from 7 years ago. I don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes.
I'll go look it up on my own time to figure out how she plays into the lore here, because there really has not been a lot of exposition.
No.
In the main story, even to where I'm at about there's been hints about some lineage here, but nothing explicit about it. And I feel like if the audience knows, I want to know, if you could know, I want to know at this point.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like we're taking the story of Resident Evil more seriously than Resident Evil takes it, but
I try to take it
certainly are
as serious as they take it. A BOW, a BOW is the
BOW. Yeah. Bioorganic weapons.
That's about as seriously as I take it. I think the premise from where I'm up to at this point is pretty dumb in terms of what the story is actually doing.
Yeah.
But,
I hope there's a little more payoff to the Umbrella Scientists' whole deal than I'm expecting, but we'll see.
It was funny. Alex, when we were playing, I feel like you don't have to re-mention it here in case people want to avoid that part, but I feel like you kind of nailed where some of this is going, immediately upon seeing the actions of the zombies, and you're like, oh, is this what we're doing?
Yeah.
In terms of just kind of oh, this guy's still turning the lights on and off, and this person's still doing this stuff.
Because that's just not a thing I ever remember from the zombies in these games. I'm not talking about the mutants. The mutants do weird shit, but the actual zombies, the most you ever see is occasionally them banging on a door or a vending machine or something. That is the closest you get to human-like behavior.
Okay, you know what? Sure, I will give them some credit. That is somewhat new here. Not just the preoccupation with lights, but the zombies talking. Like, apparently retaining some amount of humanity feels...
Cut it out.
I love going into the, like, boss's office and seeing him, like, eating a zombie on the floor, and then he stops eating for a second to go, "You're fired."
It's going to happen to all of us. We're just...
It's honestly the most Romero they have gotten with this shit in a while, because after Night of the Living Dead, like Dawn of the Dead started exploring the idea that like the zombies had like that sort of baked in, like they go to the mall because they remember the mall. You know, they don't know what to do there when they get there, but they just kind of vaguely remember it. And then as those movies go along, like Land of the Dead is about the zombies remembering how to learn tools and what their vocations were and shit, and like doing that to fucking take down the last human settlement. So like they're going through the Romero playbook. They've just taken longer to get there than he did.
Yeah, and like some of these zombies like showing some contrition. They're all like scientists, lab coat types.
Mm-hmm.
Like occasionally you'll hear them say like, "I'm sorry," or "Not my fault." So maybe
so
they're
just being
doing,
a zombie.
They're shirking the responsibilities, is what you're saying.
Last thing I'll say is that I liked the early lighting mechanics, and I'm not sure they're going to keep up with that necessarily. Like early on, turning lights on and using lights defensively is like kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll get back to that. Where I'm at right now, it's not a factor, but because the game looks very good. Up.
Yeah,
the game looks very good. It's got a pretty interesting lighting model, and they were actually using that briefly.
That RE engine's pretty strong.
Like basically there's an enemy that is light sensitive, and you can use the light in a brief instance as kind of a weapon, sort of. But I hope there's more of that. Anyway,
Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Evil Requiem.
It's out there.
9. It's out there. We'll probably talk more about as it goes. Maybe by the next time we get together. Depending how long this game is, I'll see if it's wrapped up. I just enjoy playing it, so we'll see how it goes. But for now, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We got a couple more games to talk about, and then we're gonna talk about some news. So stick around. This week's show is brought to you by Factor. Alex Navarro.
Vinny.
There are 3 things in life I love and I can't live without. My family.
Okay.
The fine supporters of this podcast. And eating delicious food. Factor's got my back on this one. On this one. I'm going to give it a this one. Factor's got my back on. Yeah, that's how strongly I feel about this topic right here. Factor's got my back on this one. What is Factor? You know what Factor is. Alex, what does Factor do?
It is food. It comes to your house in a box. It is fresh, ready-made meals for you, the consumer, when you don't have a lot of time to make your own food.
Heck yeah. They have quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. No refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no refined seed oils, just like Nextlander. Meals that fit your goals and schedule, healthier eating, calorie management, more protein, and they have 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh and delicious throughout the winter or any seasons. You can get high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support, and ready to eat salads. Plus, can't see me, but I'm flexing, new Muscle Pro collection, which supports strength and recovery. Always fresh, never frozen, ready in about 2 minutes, and no prep, no stress. I've had Factor. Every time I open the fridge and I see a Factor in there, I do a little sigh of relief because it's one fewer, let's go with that, things I have to think about when I'm doing my day. We're all out there stressing, anxiety-riddled. Our brains can't handle anything else, even if it's coming up with the next meal. And Factor said, hold on, I got this. How can you get in on this lifestyle? Well, you can head to factormeals.com/Nextlander50off and use code Nextlander50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan, 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Thanks, Factor. All right, we are back. And I'm going to briefly here talk about another game I spent some time with because I think it's mostly a funny anecdote, but I think it's also a kind of cool game. Reanimal was a game that after playing it with my daughter, who is 11, she was like, oh, maybe take a break from this one. This is, take a break. And I was like, okay. It's pretty creepy. It's disturbing. It's a disturbing game. And then she was fine watching all of the horror stuff happen in Resident Evil, which is like very graphic, but not as creepy. Generally, I think as Reanimal is just very. Have you seen like it in motion? Some of the weird things that happen. Really,
I might have seen a trailer or something, but I played the first two Little Nightmares. I mean, we should say this is Tarsier who made the first two Little Nightmares games, and this very much just looks like another one of those under a different name. And those games are like psychologically like. They're like kind of Tim Burton-esque, but more macabre.
Sure, yeah. That's what this one feels like.
Burton is pretty cartoony for all of his creepiness. These feel like Burton without the cartooniness. Like they're just kind of fucked up.
This is Phil Tippett shit.
Yeah, a little bit more. So this is co-op. So we were playing together, and there's just stuff happening that you're like, I don't like this.
Interesting.
I mean, especially for a kid, I think it's just disturbing. A lot of stuff, a lot of like weird skin suits and like weird animations and things. I enjoyed it though. I think it was visually kind of the puzzling and the co-op nature of it was kind of fun to play with my kids. I don't know how much mileage I get out of it playing with another adult in the room or with another adult being like, you know, there's something kind of fun with a kid who's of the right age being like, are you all right? Is this too creepy? Like you're right on the bubble, you know, and be like, you gonna be all right? And she's like, well, I wouldn't play this at night, but like, I'm okay right now. I think that's kind of fun. There's like a little like, ooh, is this dangerous?
We finally got her into that position where she's like on her back foot a little bit.
A little bit.
Like, I don't know about this.
You want to keep going? Is this too much?
Her goth cred is suffering here.
I know.
She's still young. You know, that's something you got to build over time.
I'll see if she brings it back up to play.
Do you get an AI buddy if you play by yourself? How do they handle that?
I don't know. There definitely are puzzles that you'd have to do with a partner. Like there are, hey, two people need to push this switch or something like that.
I assume. I don't see anything on the Steam page about it, but surely I assume there's just a computer-controlled second player.
I didn't try
it. It says fully playable in single player.
There's definitely like play single player. I just don't know if they changed the puzzles. Like, 'cause when I loaded it up, it's from the menu, it's single player or cooperative.
Well, I mean, the entire pitch from the very top is a brother and sister go through hell to rescue their missing friends. So it sounds like that it's very much like written around two characters.
I could see a thing where as soon as you prompt onto a door, the AI comes and just helps you do the thing. There's a couple of timing things that would maybe be interesting to see how they do it, but I think it's cool. I would like to play more of it. I'll see if I can traumatize my daughter more and force her to play. I'd like to finish it up. But that's about it for me and Reanimal. Steam Next Fest.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's happening.
It's always happening. More demos than ever. By the way,
too many.
By the way, thanks for everybody who wrote in about my question of is it opt-in or opt-out on Steam Next Fest? If you have a demo up, how it works. I had some very nice developers email me and tell me the process, which sounds like it is indeed opt-in, and there's a couple of stipulations there in terms of, hey, you can be in one, and then your game needs to actually have not come out yet by the time the demo goes up, but you can also leave your demo up at your discretion if you want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's on the developer.
That's what
that makes sense. Valve is like for better and worse, pretty hands off with most Steam policy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Of that kind of that nature.
But we checked out a bunch of them. One of them that I think we've all seen. I did not play it, Brad. You played it when we did our stream, but Alex, it sounds like you played it. Vampire Crawlers, the turbo, the
you
turbo,
say the whole thing.
The turbo Wildcard from Vampire Survivors.
What does that remind me of? Vampire Crawlers, the turbo Wildcard from Vampire Survivors.
I don't know.
It doesn't remind me of anything specific. It's just a very goofy name to me.
It almost sounds like an upscale liquor name or something. It's like so and so the something, like there's like a certain, I don't know. I can't quite place what this phrasing is evoking. I just find the title to be very funny. It is a turbo wildcard though. Like that game moves.
Yeah.
For being a turn-based deck builder, it feels very fast-paced, or at least as fast-paced as you want it to be.
Oh, I am just fucking clicking on cards willy-nilly. Yeah. I'm just fucking slapping my way through these levels. And
it almost feels like it's built for that. Like the combo mechanic is you want to play cards in ascending cost order.
Mm-hmm.
So it very much feels like you can kind of half pay attention to what cards you're playing and just go by
a number.
I'm going to play the 0 card and then the 1 card and then the 2 card. Let's go.
So obviously this is a full-on in the universe of, let's say, Vampire Survivors, which is the auto shooter that took the world by storm. But
it's the one that basically spawned the genre, more or less.
Yeah, and it really feels like they just adapted that whole milieu to a card game.
Yes.
Like same,
but smartly, I think.
Same playable characters, same concept of completing challenges to unlock more characters and more items / cards to show up. Like you've got a hub that you go back to cash stuff in. And
yes, mechanically, though, this is now turn-based. So you are, and it's also, I would say, if this reference holds for enough of the audience, it's a little bit like those old gold box games, like a little, screen by screen dungeon crawler.
It's got the turning 90 degrees, advancing one tile at a time kind of thing.
Yeah, and so it's I'm going to call it 3D, because you're moving in a 3-dimensional space, but it still contains or captures the aesthetic from Vampire Survivors of these very de-resed or not very high fidelity enemies that are mobbing onto you as you are spitting out cards, building up combo meters to ridiculous degrees to try and, fight your way through the hordes. Brad, in your run through the demo that we did, what'd you think of the kind of systems that they have put in place?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge card deck. Like I don't play a lot of deck builders at all, so I'm no authority. And it's a demo. I didn't see a lot yet, but
you unlocked a new character.
Yeah, got a new character. It's very approachable. I'll say that.
Alex, I'll push you as probably the person who has spent the most time in the world in Vampire Survivors,
for better and for worse. Yes.
What do you think of them kind of making this?
In my mind, they had kind of run out of gas with what to do with actual Vampire Survivors. Like, you could keep throwing content into that thing, but at a certain point, I think the novelty had kind of worn off a little bit for me. So them taking this approach to a new thing, I think, is totally sensible. Don't just make a sequel, do something a little bit different and goofy, because that's just kind of what this game has been all along. I think the deck building mechanics are pretty slight, but they work. I think the pace of the gameplay is kind of what makes it work for me. Like, I'm not thinking that hard about the combat. I know I can sit there and, like, puzzle out, okay, here's how I get maximum combo or whatever. But, like, honestly, it's just about, like, you got a mob, just fucking throw those Bibles at him. Just fucking throw knives at him. Let's just go.
How about when you have to pick cards?
Yeah, but the environments from the game are in here. Like, you're going through the inlaid library and the forest and all that other shit. Like, the characters are there. I think it's interesting the way they're using the characters more as bonuses than they are like, straight up personalities. Like, you unlock them and then they pop up as cards when you are using, like, you pick a particular hero to go into the dungeon with. Whenever that hero character pops up, like the first one they give you in the demo, like, that's an armor boost. So, like, you can just use that. And they usually use, I think, their native weapon better maybe than the other ones, because I feel like when I unlocked the lady with the magic wand, I feel like I was doing more damage with her using it than I was with the previous guy.
Yeah, I will say on the card mechanics, I think we should allow some possibility for, beyond the demo, it gets more complex.
Sure.
B, I'm looking at a screenshot here where they have about 30 cards in their hand. So, and looking in the top left, it's got the roguelike / Vampire Survivors thing of you build up bonuses, or the, Mega Bonk does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've got suddenly you've got 8 different bonuses active on a run, right? So, like, at some point you are going to probably have to start playing to the strengths of the bonuses you've got.
Oh, definitely.
To synergize.
I imagine the way I'm approaching it right now will not last past a certain point. But, like, in the initial wave of just getting your bearings, like, it is pretty breezy and you can just kind of do shit.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to jump in there and like just kind of like lay waste to the enemies. And also like that shared visual language with the original Vampire Survivors is actually pretty effective.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have an idea of a lot of what you're looking at because you already saw all that stuff in a different game.
Same items, you know.
Yeah, the same items, but again, even just like some basically the same aesthetic, like similar trappings.
But now they talk.
Yes, they talk.
The voice lines are very funny because it is that old computer RPG or like arcade game style of like just little one lines that are very compressed.
I said this on the stream, like the specific quality of the voice samples was doing something to the nostalgia center in my brain.
Definitely.
In a way that I'm like shocked more games haven't made voices sound like those voices did.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about roughly 35 years ago or so.
Yeah. Where you could fit like a couple of samples on a chip.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's a matter of sample rate or what, but it works.
Yeah, and it works in this game. I think I don't think I'm going to touch this until release, and then I'll give it a try. I think mechanically, the only thing commentary I can have just watching it was some of the part I loved about Vampire Survivors was the automation snowball that would happen, and
the layering upon layering upon layering of bonuses and stats and whatnot.
And at some point, it just all happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like in this, I almost kind of want the cards to play themselves,
right.
You know, just start dealing. And so you're just walking up, and then it's just snowballing from your hand in your deck.
They almost do though. Like you're barely really thinking, at least in the early stages, that much about what the cards are doing. You're just like attack, armor, go. You know, it's very quick.
Yeah, I could see, like, I ran into this in the demo. The place you really need to start thinking is when you're just on the cusp of dying.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might have to start thinking about, like, I need to play something with knockback to try to push these guys back so they can't hit me because the next time I get hit, I'm going to die. I need to, like, try to thread a needle here and prevent that from happening, but that's an edge case.
Vampire Crawlers, the Turbo Wildcard from Vampire Survivors, 2026 date still on that. We'll see when it actually comes out. And no pricing, at least that I know of yet. So I'm curious if this will be another. What was Vampire Survivors like $1.99 or no?
It was pretty cheap.
$6
I think it was like $5.
Maybe it was $4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, $6 is $5, as we know.
Yeah.
In this economy,
but $4 is also $5.
Yeah, of course. All right. Another one that I was looking forward to. That I was happy we got a demo, and Brad, you played this at an event, maybe Summer Game Fest. Replaced,
yeah.
Finally got to play some demo of it. I liked what I played of it in this brief demo, though it's not exceptionally deep in terms of what you're gonna have to learn from the demo. But it is kind of an 2D action game where the vibes of it kind of remind you of something like a flashback.
Sure.
And then you're kind of running, but then the combat of it is almost more like a Batman style combat where you're hitting parry and you're kind of sliding around as multiple enemies are kind of attacking you.
A lot of crowd management, parries, dodging through guys, finishers, stuff like that.
But it looks super cool. It's got a very pixelated look to it.
Very, very like retro, modern, cyberpunk kind of look.
Yeah. And they do cool and interesting things with that look in terms of locking the camera into this 2D plane, but sometimes things will come into the foreground, which I really like. Very much still looking forward to that game. Wondering about the depth of it for the real release of it, how much they'll add and change the formula of the combat, because they do start you in the demo with a finisher, and I don't think that finisher, they say in the demo.
They straight up, but don't they at one point say, hey, we're giving you this gun earlier than usual so you can check out the combat?
Yeah, so I'm curious about how things progress and how they change from level to level as you go along.
Also, they didn't put as much in this Next Fest demo as I saw last year, but it seems pretty story heavy. Like there were long stretches of what I played at Summer Game Fest that were just you walking around the city, talking to people and gathering information and stuff. So.
Oh, neat. Okay, yeah. Well, at least from the part of the demo we played on the stream, I didn't play more of it. I didn't see too much of that. More flyers and narrative stuff we saw. That's replaced. That's coming out soon. That's next month. Oh, now it is next month. That's April 14th. It got pushed a little bit. It was supposed to come out a little earlier. All right, Vampire Crawlers replaced. How about Awaysis, Brad?
Yeah, I played a little bit of that. 17-bit.
How would you describe that game?
17-bit makers of Skulls of the Shogun, Galaxy, other stuff I'm not thinking of.
Yeah.
They've made a lot of different games.
Yeah. Galaxy is the one I really remember.
And this, too, is a different game.
Galaxy.
It's like a Awaysis, is AWAY-SIS.
Yeah.
It's like an overhead physics-based sort of combat. It's a mission-driven, like almost Diablo, start in a hub, pick a mission, go off and do the mission either alone or with friends, earn loot, come back and equip your loot kind of thing. But the combat, all the movement in the combat is very physics-heavy.
Okay.
Like there's like a ton of momentum on swinging the sword and moving around. You can use the stick in a 360-degree fashion to like aim where you're using your sword.
Yeah, it's like a dual joystick.
While you're moving, it's kind of dual joystick sword combat.
Yeah.
There's like water physics. There's like explosive physics and stuff. Like it feels like a lot of physics.
You use the word Dreamcast a lot, I think.
Well, that was just because Jake Kasdal worked on Dreamcast games.
Was it just because of that, or because the soundtrack and the kind of vibe of it?
Is there a flavor?
Definite vibe to the sound music choice that feels very turn of the century, upbeat, kind of thing.
We weren't sure if the multiplayer stuff, at least the online multiplayer stuff, was in the demo. We weren't sure at least how to join up. There was a PvP zone too, which we jumped into. We both had to boot it up, both jumped into, but did not seem like that was active quite yet. But yeah, I think it seemed like you have, like you just described, your hub, and you go off, do a mission, come back, get some loot, and play as your fox. You're like a little fennec. Is that a type of fox?
Fox or a turtle or a frog.
Yeah. And get some drum and bass going in the background.
Yeah. It seems like it could be interesting if they get kind of crazy with the physics and the mission design and stuff like that.
Yeah. Awaysis. That's still TBD, at least according to the data I have here. Next up, and let's go with Titanium Court. Alex, what is Titanium Court?
Fuck, I don't know, dude.
Great. That's my favorite kind of Steam demo.
That is exactly why I didn't want to play that on stream. I looked at screenshots and I was like, this might be a little too much fumbling around trying to figure out what I'm doing for people to watch.
So it isn't, and I think it actually would have showed okay. It's more the trying to describe it to people that I think is a little bit challenging, not because it's so complicated or anything, but just because it's going in a lot of directions. So Titanium Court is at its core a match 3 game. It is a puzzle game that is built around match 3 stuff, but it's a very surrealist, goofy vibe. You are a person who is warped into this place that is called the Titanium Court. It is full of magical people and fairies. They just say that shit's real, just go with it. That court gets warped around in this thing they call the Tide, and every time it appears in a new place, there are other like courts that want to fight you, and so that's where the match 3 thing comes in. The court is exclusively populated with people that I feel like would be hanging around like Cobb's Comedy Club or the Magic Castle, like they are all just sort of like show business dirtbags, seemingly, but in that like very like, hey, I'm entertaining you on a stage kind of way, like improv people, that kind of thing.
How does that manifest in the
cutscenes? Like there's little bits of like, you know, dialogue with some of those people in between runs. But so when you actually play the game, there's a bunch of different icons on the map and they pertain to specific things. Most of the main ones are resources, and when you match 3, you gain the resources that come from those. So there's food, there's water, there's wood, and there's rock, I think are the 4 main ones. The courts are also on the menu. And so before you go into the battle phase, what you would do is you're doing a bunch of this match 3 stuff to gain resources, but you're also knocking some of their courts off the map by doing that. And also rearranging the board in such a way, because those things that are on the board that are not the courts can also act as terrain blockers. So, like, if the other courts attack and you have a moat around you, it is harder for them to get to your court.
Okay.
Do you understand why this is complicated to explain?
Not beating the allegations that this would have been a lot to unpack on a stream.
I'm sure it all makes sense once you're in it.
Here's the thing. In 15 minutes of playing it, I had the vibe, at least, of what it was trying to do. It lays out its information very easily for the player. It's just for the humble critic that has to try to describe this to an audience, it sounds like insanity.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I want to play this.
But so the battle phase is interesting because once you have all that resources gained and the board is where it's going to be, you're then buying units, which you basically use to attack other courts and also defend your own and also maybe gather more resources before the round is up. So they will start sending their soldiers at you. If there's terrain that blocks them, it will slow them down. And when you send your soldiers or archers or other collectors out there, they will just go and do their thing until the round is over. Every time you successfully defeat one of their courts, a quick flash screen of someone dunking a basketball or hitting a home run or nailing a tennis shot or something will pop up on the screen, and then we'll immediately go back to the battle.
It's almost kind of like, from watching footage of it, almost like WarioWare
a little bit
happening in between all this stuff.
At the very least, it feels like the person who made this game, who I believe his name is AP Thompson, their name, I believe they like WarioWare. That comes across.
Okay.
But it is not a WarioWare game. It is it is this match 3 thing, but it has this kind of like I said, goofy surrealist story kind of going around the edges. And then if you successfully finish a round, then you go back to kind of the planning phase and then you go on to the next thing.
Whoa. I should just play it.
So this game got a ton of buzz around like IGDA voting, I think, in the last year. I saw some people who were judges on there talking this one up a bunch. So that was what caught my eye and made me want to try it. And I understand, I think, why IGDA judges in particular would like this, because it's hitting a lot of different notes, but seems to be hitting all of them fairly well. We'll see how the final game is, but I was pretty intrigued by it.
Titanium Court.
Demo out now.
Yeah, demo out now, and TBD for the date on that.
Really hope my description of it
did
it justice, because again, I sat there trying to figure out how am I going to explain this thing to people, and then I just started doing it.
Just like Romeo is a Dead Man. It's just nailed it. Just same thing. Another one we saw, not since been too long with, but fairly confident this is a little easier to describe. The Ratline. Okay. This was kind of like a root trees, but we did not necessarily uncover any Nazis, though it sounds like the origin of that term is from some kind of exodus of Nazis towards Argentina.
It was
Argentina.
It was the term for the pipeline of Nazi war criminals escaping to South America.
So in this game, you are very much root treeing your way into identifying certain characters, at least in the demo, the very little bit of the demo we played. And I'm always up for one of those, not necessarily doing it quickly on a stream, but sitting down and maybe reading the text and kind of parsing out stuff. But I like those kind of deduction games.
I think at this point we can just put a moratorium on describing that. We all know that sometimes streaming a thing is not the same as playing it regularly. So
yeah.
I think everyone knows that at this point.
We know that.
We've said it so many times.
We know that.
Hey,
do people believe it? A different question.
It's not necessarily trying to excuse. I'm just actually saying, sometimes it's like we just talked about. Sometimes there's a thing that you enjoy but don't enjoy necessarily playing on a stream.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yes.
That's more what I was saying. Like, hey, sometimes you just like a quiet thing where you actually want to sit and read all the text.
Absolutely.
Brad, what game we played? It must have been 4 or 5 demos. What were we playing? And we'll get to the final one in a second.
The hole digging game?
No, Xavier Nelson was in it.
Oh, Xavier Nelson.
Xavier Nelson. Well, he's in Forbidden Solitaire.
Oh, that was Forbidden Solitaire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he has a part in Forbidden Solitaire.
Well, great. Then let's move into Forbidden Solitaire.
Yep.
Forbidden Solitaire. A game that I think we've all been curious about and want to see more of, because it, I think, holds a bit. I'm just going to allow me the indulgence of saying what I think might appeal to all of us in at least some way. Alex, you really like those Regency Solitaire games?
Yeah, I like that one. I like Shadow Hands.
Yeah. Yep. Right up your alley, right? Like okay. Brad, I know you like a faux operating system and
although this one seems very limited for what it's worth, but I also like Solitaire and
Solitaire.
Who doesn't like Solitaire?
And I love dumb FMV, which this game seems, even if it's pre-rendered early 90s CG FMV, though this does seem to just have some actual video in it. I love it. these things all combine in Forbidden Solitaire, a game that seems a little more akin. We've seen a couple of these games come out over the last, I would say, 5 years, not even that long, where there's a game that you're playing, but it's a meta game that's in universe as a game, right? Like, hey, this game you're playing is actually a game in the universe and your stuff is going to happen. We hope stuff is going to happen in the game. Was the one, Brad, that we played a lot of, that was you're in the cabin playing and then things just...
Oh, Inscription?
Yeah, Inscription.
It's
a little less of the game of a game. But
game within a game, like, I mean, we have to say this developer's previous game was Home Safety Hotline.
Home Safety Hotline.
Feels like the same
That's
thing.
no game, man.
Although,
that's real.
That's not like, that's not like a diegetic game in universe necessarily, but it's still kind of the same thing where you're just operating a self-help, like a tip line.
Yeah.
But there's a meta story being told on top of that. So things get weird, like that's, and this, even in the 10 minutes we played this, like it's very clear that's going in a similar direction of like, there's going to be weird shit in and out of the actual Forbidden Solitaire game, which in this universe was a banned solitaire game. It was like came under fire in the 90s from like parents groups for being too violent.
Yes.
And might be satanic or demonic in some fashion. But like, it seems pretty obvious. You're getting IMs 5 minutes into this demo from somebody going like, holy shit, you found a copy of that? Like, I thought they were all destroyed. You gotta like you gotta image and upload that. Like, you gotta send me a copy.
It's like your sister or somebody being like, damn.
There's clearly going to be like some shit going like some eldritch shit going on outside of the game.
So yeah, and they're like, well, I think your sister or someone sends you like, check out this video of these this news segment where it's like kids are playing this horrible solitaire game.
Some good like VHS footage of a 90s local news broadcast of parents like picketing this solitaire game.
Now, I am no expert. Maybe you are, Brad. I am no expert on every variation of solitaire. I know the name Klondike.
Klondike, Spider.
You've lost me now.
Reversey.
It's about all I think isn't that a different game?
Maybe.
But
I'm just trying to think of the card variations I remember from Solitaire software.
This might be doing a version of Solitaire I'm not familiar with, but you're basically trying to just click a card or put on the deck your hand a card higher or lower than the card that is showing, regardless of suit. So you don't have to necessarily worry about the suits. You're basically, if a 4 is showing, you got to put a 5 or a 3, right? That's basically what they're asking you to do as you pull cards off of the play area.
Right.
And then there are modifier cards and other things that you can click on the play area, which do various things, but essentially going one higher or one lower as you play the solitaire game and try to solitaire your way through this dungeon. We did not play for a long time. I did not want to play for a long time because I kind of want to play this game when it comes out.
Much like Home Safety Hotline, like preserving the surprise of the goofs and jokes and weird shit in this is going to be the value.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like a linear ride, right? Once you kind of have it exposed, you can't create that again. This game is still slated for Q1. I don't know if they have updated that since the demo, because we are, Q1ing it in the end of March here. So whether this game releases in the next couple of weeks, I don't know. I would doubt it. I think this game has enough heat around it where I would think that they would just put the date out for some promotion. But fingers crossed. I just really want to try it when it comes out. Looks silly and fun, and the kind of thing that the kind of game I look forward to as a fun surprise. Like digestible and fun.
I really enjoyed the writing and acting in Home Safety Hotline. So
yes, really good.
I've got high expectations for this. It's
like the closest a game has gotten to capturing the Longmont Potion Castle thing, I feel like. Not exactly, but it's in that vein.
The only thing I would say, if you have a little more time in development and you're not worrying about the actual gameplay and things that are actually on your list, that Vinny would like to see is like a little more interactivity in the fake OS. That's about it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot there.
No, I mean, you do some stuff, but everybody likes to open a little folder and see what's going on. That's Forbidden Solitaire again. It's still slated for first quarter of this year, but we'll see when that actually comes out. Maybe there's more information out there. I think that's kind of it for now in the games.
Yeah.
Resident Eviling, Steam.
Hey, that's
Steam,
a big one.
Yeah, Steam Next Fest thing. I still have a couple. I got Sons of Sparta. It might be running out of steam a little bit on that one now that Resident Evil's dropped in. I could see myself not coming back to it in the near future as something's going to take over when Resident Evil's done. You know, it was a game I felt like I was playing when I just wanted to chill and play, and not something like Resident Evil where I'm like, I can't wait to go play more of this. So we will see. And hey, we're going to talk more about Sony's plans for releasing games when we come back in the news. So stick around to hear more of that. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and it is time. Why am I talking like this? We are back, and it's time.
I thought you were doing a bit. Is this not a bit?
No, I think I'm just slowing down. I'm just
okay. Are you sundowning already?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm very tired. We are back, and it's time for the news. Sony's got some news here, and
Jason Schreier's got some news.
Jason Schreier has some news
Maybe
about
Sony will have this news as well eventually.
Sony is not providing this news themselves, and this big story, I'm guessing they will never say a word about it. The proof will simply be in the
release calendar?
Yes, the release calendar or lack thereof going forward.
We have talked a lot about the current state of PC ports or releases from Sony and how great it is that now PC ports are not only, let's say, comparable to their console brethren or counterparts. Sometimes they're the ones people look forward to even more because you're on a PC, you get to fiddle with the options a little bit. And what a golden age we live in.
Also, in these fraught economic circumstances, how nice is it to just need a PC and a Switch and be able to play everything that comes out anywhere, ever?
That's it. Well, I can't wait to ride this one all the way.
Can't wait to play Ghost of Yotei on PC, right?
Yeah.
Well, I already played it, but I mean, I'm sure someone would have been excited for that.
Bad example, maybe. How about Saros? That's not out yet.
Okay, there you go.
Look, Capcom is out there saying that the PC is more than 50% of their revenue drive right now.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not surprising, but it's still kind of crazy to see it in such stark terms.
Meaning that all the other consoles are the other 50%. So clearly, PC is where it's at.
Yeah, you would think, but maybe not for Sony. So Jason Schreier really propping up this new segment this week, as on many weeks. He's got a pair of stories about Sony this week, but we're starting with the big one that just dropped like right before we started recording. He's got it on quite good authority out of Sony that they are going to stop porting most of their games to PC.
Man, that's a huge bummer.
Yep, that stinks for a lot of people who, again, were pretty excited to play PlayStation. I started to say exclusives. They're not exclusives anymore. First-party games on their computers and not have to buy a PlayStation anymore, which it sounds like there is a faction within Sony that considers that much more of a downside than an upside.
So the specificity here is that it sounds like they were talking primarily about their AAA single-player experiences, online multiplayer games, at least based on the indication in this reporting, is that they still intend to put that stuff on PC where it makes sense. Yeah,
that definitely is worth pointing out. I mean, he mentioned Marathon in here, but Marathon's out today. Like, that one obviously was already in motion, but he says Marvel Tokone will also still get a PC release. It sounds like...
Isn't Bungie publishing Marathon technically? I know they're owned by Sony, but like... It's weird, right?
Yes, there is some weird thing where I just had the Marathon Steam page. Yes, they are like, Bungie is literally listed as the publisher of Marathon on Steam. Even though Sony has a PC publishing label now that you see on their first-party games on. Bungie probably still trying to assert some independence.
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that. It is just interesting.
It is a bit weird, like a different PR firm reached out about review codes for Marathon, for example. Anyway, not a huge deal, but yeah, like it does sound like, I'm sure after Helldivers, they're like, well, we'd probably be crazy not to be putting out the bulk of our multiplayer games, but
they're right.
But Ghost of Yotei and Saros are the two games cited here, and probably just because those are the two coming up soonest. Like, Ghost of Yotei is already out, Saros coming out in late April, I think.
Right.
But also there will be Wolverine later this year. There will be Intergalactic from Naughty Dog at some point. Like, it sounds like pretty much all of those first-party single-player tentpole games will start to become PlayStation 5 exclusive again?
So some of the reporting here from Jason says that some of the criticism has been that the rollout has been a little haphazard, maybe confusing to players. I don't know
if I agree with that.
I can see it. I can definitely see it. I think mainly because there's never been a consistent cadence to console and then PC release. Like sometimes it's
a year.
Sometimes it's a year. Sometimes it's like 3 years.
Yeah. No, I get that.
They've also had multiple rocky launches, like the first Horizon, the Last of Us 1 remake or remaster.
It hasn't been perfect.
Like they've had like technical issues with several of their PC ports. Also, the
Spider-Man ones came out mostly unscathed, though, right?
I think
I feel
the
like
Spider-Man
all those,
ones,
the ones I played, there was very little issue with those.
I don't remember hearing anything bad about the Spider-Man games when they came out.
You don't remember Puddlegate? I'm not saying that was a PC.
I don't engage in that conversation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I could just kind of list off the reasons being argued within Sony that he reports here.
It's probably worth going over.
This surprised me. One is that several recent PlayStation games have not sold well on PC.
Interesting.
So that actually, but
what were the last few?
Is that Spider-Man 2,
Last of Us 2?
Yes. What else? I don't.
Tsushima made it to PC.
Yeah, I play everything Sony puts out on a PlayStation, so I just am not as up to date with that stuff as I could be. But
Helldivers 2.
Well,
sure.
that's one of those ones that I feel like is in a weird straddling place.
That effectively is a PC game at this point. But yeah, I can't think of too many others. I mean, Sony's first party has just been a little.
Their cadence has been very
weird.
Erratic regardless of whether it's on PC or PlayStation. Like, they just have not been putting out a ton of games. I mean, for reasons that we have talked about previously.
And not as many tentpole single-player games because of the move to live service, as we've discussed ad nauseum. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, it's okay. Recent PlayStation ports to PC have not sold well.
Okay.
A faction within PlayStation has also expressed concern that releasing their games on PC risks damaging the console's brand and will hurt sales of the PS5 and its successors. Like, I think there's something to that for sure.
I mean,
yeah. I just want them on PC. Like, so I'm gonna sigh at everything you say.
I'm not, look, like, it's all a balancing act. Like, this is all.
Okay, so here I'm going to split the difference here. I think they're half right. I think at this point, the ship has sailed on the PS5 as far as hurting sales of those consoles with PC ports. Like, it's not that it won't ever happen. I'm saying it doesn't matter because they've sold a lot of those consoles. The lineup for the remainder of the PS5's lifespan is what it's going to be. They're not going to announce a bunch of new things for the PS5 over the next couple of years because it's stuff that's already been in the pipeline and they are preparing for the next console. Where I think they might be right is getting people convinced to buy the next one.
That is 100% it. In fact, I think the phrasing here, PlayStation 5 and its successors, like, I really feel like it's its successors part that is the operative part.
That's the weighted part of that, and that's where I think they have it right.
Yeah, that's what I agree with that. Like, you spend several years buying Sony's games on PC with an expectation of more to come on the next platform. Like, you just kind of stop thinking about the PlayStation as a hardware brand.
Let me throw another one out there.
Okay.
In addition to that, which I think is all correct, what if they are absolutely banking on PCs being fucking impossible to build around the time the next console comes around?
That's also worth thinking about. I mean, they're going to have issues building a PS6 as well, but they can presumably negotiate supply chain deals to help mitigate that issue. And also, it sounds like that may be delayed anyway.
But that's like a built-in marketing thing, right? Which, I mean, it's dark, but the idea is if they are able to successfully get a new box together in massive numbers and they are able to get it at a price that is not astronomical compared to what it would cost to do a PC thing, they can come at that and say, we know it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to play these games on a PC. We still make consoles. We still have our big exclusive games on your consoles. You can just come here. You can just buy a PS6. It will cost you probably at least $1,000 less than what it would cost to do this with a new PC.
Yeah, I think that is a very valid point to be thinking about. I don't know if Sony. I don't think of Sony as quite as like cynical and opportunistic as to capitalize directly on something like that.
I think
but
they're
very
about
well
to
could
be, though. I think everyone is about to be.
Like I guess they have like a certain air of formality to them, I feel like, that would prevent them from just coming out and slinging mud in that way, but they can definitely talk around it in a way that's just...
Is it even mud? Because they're not directing it at anyone in particular.
Not
it's
really.
A larger market. They're kind of saying, like, hey, this is not viable, and we know.
I guess they don't take shots at other companies in a Nintendo kind of way or whatever.
Not
like,
these days, no.
The Sony style would just be to say something like the best value in gaming or something like that. Like it would
the
be
best franchises exclusively on the PS6.
It would position it as like this is the most powerful. Yeah, the most powerful hardware on the market for the most value. Something, it would be.
It's the only way to play these games the right way, right? Like it's the optimal way.
Yeah, like I mean, yes, the integrated console approach very much may start looking more attractive to more people as this god awful slow motion crisis rolls along. So yeah, that absolutely could be a factor. Let's see. I think there were a couple other.
Well, while you're saying that, I'll just say real quick, Vinny, I agree with you also, though. This sucks. Like, I'm coming up with good logistical reasons why they would do this, but it sucks. It is not good for people who want to play Sony games on PC. Like, that's
for sure. And like, porting isn't free, even though I think porting this generation maybe got a little lighter of a lift. It's definitely not without
it's gotten better.
Cost.
Yeah, although porting from PS5 to PC is going to take definitely more work than like Xbox to PC.
And I think Jason Schreier mentions it, and we almost half jokingly hinted at it when we talked about the changes happening over at Xbox. But if the next Xbox is a thing that fully supports PC style gaming and marketplaces, would you wind up seeing games like Last of Us, Stellar Blade, and what else on an Xbox? And is that just the visual of that God of War on an Xbox, because it's drawing from the Epic Game Store, from the Steam Marketplace? Is that visual just not something Sony wants to see?
Yeah, he mentions that. I think that's entirely his speculation, but yes, it sounds like he's agreeing with that. Some executives at PlayStation may not be thrilled at the prospect of one of the company's flagship games like God of War running on the next Xbox console.
Which, that's... I can see the visual of that, somebody just showing that to an executive and them being like, what the hell is happening? Versus, to me, it's more of a semantical argument of like, hey, it's like, look, here's God of War running on my Ein Thor, right? Or like AYN Thor,
sure.
like because everything could just stream to anything or play anything.
Sorry, the one other tidbit I meant to mention in here is that it sounds like for the time being, third-party developed Sony published games would still come to PC. Like Death Stranding is next month, but also I think Kojima owns that IP to the extent that would come out on PC regardless. But they also mentioned that new Kena game. Kena Scars of Cosmora is still planned to come to PC later this year.
Or like Stellar Blade, right? That's third party, right?
505 published the original PC version of Death Stranding, right?
Yeah. Sony was not even involved in the first Death Stranding coming to PC. So I think that would happen regardless. But again, like the Kena developer is a smaller team, and it sounds like that's still coming to PC as well. So it sounds like for now, this might be limited to just internally developed single player only Sony games. And also there's a line that the people caution, the people meaning the people Schreier spoke to, caution that things could change in the future due to the unpredictable nature of the video game industry, and that Sony's plans are constantly shifting. But
look,
it's
do they ever go on record about this?
I doubt it.
I bet they get a question at some point, like at a Summer Games Fest or someone. Someone asks them, like, hey, is this a policy going forward or what?
Or honestly, that would be an investor question, like frankly, at their next like financial briefing.
Sure, yes.
It would be some investor would put that to them potentially. But
yeah, I feel like the public thing would be like, we're always exploring all the options.
They will not bring this up unbidden, though, I don't believe.
I'm with it.
I don't know. It's tough. Like, that's always as a hardware maker, that's a tough question to answer. Like, yes, of course, it is great from a consumer end for games to be available in more places, but
I just think the market's there. They're saying it's not. I don't know. I'm not looking at the financials.
Like if the last few, I mean, it's entirely possible some of those recent releases, like maybe
just didn't do that well.
I was going to say didn't break even. That might be a pretty extreme.
It probably just didn't hit targets. It wasn't what they were expecting.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anecdotally, I think I just side more with the Capcom investor report there. That's just like, hey, our games are doing better on PC than
Capcom's operating in a different strata.
It's totally different for a third party.
That's what I mean.
Because as a third party publisher, without your own storefront, you are giving away 30% no matter what. Like you don't care where you sell games because you're either giving a third to Valve or to Sony or to Microsoft. So like,
you're not worried about moving hardware.
They just want to sell, and that's where the trickiness comes in that I mentioned. Like they just need to sell games. They don't care where.
I get it.
Like unless they can try to pull a Bethesda or a Rockstar and launch their own storefront, which don't even think about it, Capcom. But as a hardware maker, you're getting 100% of the money if you sell on your platform versus 2/3 on somebody else's storefront. And again, the bigger X factor there is like, and also when they talk about like how much network services and blah, 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 like things around the console are like major revenue drivers for them now. And you're not getting that when people are not on your platform. Like they're kind of like the Nintendo side, because Nintendo is like a weird unicorn who's always just doing their own thing. Yeah. Nintendo is like not subject to the laws of physics. No. But like as kind of the last regular console maker standing, now that Microsoft seems to be pivoting away from this, like I it's kind of, I can see it.
Oh, I can see
the hand wringing about what is more advantageous. Are we giving up long-term audience
or market share on?
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they thought in some way that there would be a pipeline back to a PlayStation purchase.
Yes, and that was very clearly where they were going with the Helldivers PSN account requirement that they got, eviscerated over. Because if they had gotten, I don't think it was a good idea, but it sounded like we talked about this when it got reported, they were moving toward their own PC launcher storefront.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have necessarily done what they needed.
They just don't have I don't think they put out enough if you're not talking about third parties and Sony published to make that a launcher, make that viable. We talked about Death Stranding 2 and how that's a third party and that would maybe just come out on PC anyway. But just anecdotally, the amount of people I've seen talking about playing the PC version of that game, would you have gotten those people to pick up hardware? If I know we're talking, this isn't an example of something that would be locked up, but I think this is what they're hoping for their first party, right? Is that the want to play a God of War or the next Horizon would drive people to hardware. I wonder if they just would say, I'm good, or I'll find, I'll pick it up when it comes to PC when you change your mind eventually, Mm-hmm. I wonder. Well, I guess that they're going to, sounds like from the reporting, and though, like you said, Jason Schreier is very clear to say this might change. That's their bet as well. They're wondering the same thing. Okay. TBD. Stop. Look, Sony, you won. It's dead, Jim. you won that. You won the console war. Just put your shit on PC. It's okay.
Do you think this is the kind of story someone might leak to a Schreier just to kind of get the temperature of the room on how mad people might be about this?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to break through enough.
Maybe not.
But certainly the people who really enjoy playing Sony games on PC will make this will circulate in those.
Are there enough of them for that to matter in the grand scheme of things? I don't know.
To Sony, I don't know. I would hope so. I see a lot of people, and look,
I've enjoyed playing some of those games on PC.
I enjoy seeing them because I love seeing the tweaks that they do, like the upgrades and. We'll see if this. I'm not outside the kind of closed bubble enough to know how much of a bigger deal that is. All right. Speaking of Sony, Bluepoint and Sony, we talked about Sony closing down Bluepoint last, the kind of unexpected announcement that they were shutting down Bluepoint last episode. Mm-hmm. If you missed it, which is understandable because we talked a lot about Microsoft as well. But Bluepoint is no longer the fine remakers of beloved games. Brad Shoemaker, one of those beloved games that every fan, I guess, hoped a Bluepoint would do at some point, is Bloodborne.
Yep.
And now there's Jason Schreier has more reporting.
He does, yes.
And that it was basically done and they were going to release it, but then they said, nah. And that's why Sony...
Yes,
really they put it in the vault.
Basically... For all the people who have spent the last basically 10 years, well, not quite 10 years, but pretty close to it, considering the Bloodborne is barely more than 10 years old, asking why the hell isn't Bluepoint going to remake Bloodborne, especially after the Demon Souls remake was like generally quite successful. Like you definitely saw some people when that Demon Souls remake came out really going hard on like monster redesigns or changes in music. You know, like there were the
people who wanted the pure experience, like they weren't getting it.
There were some purists who definitely had issues with details of that remake, but generally that remake went over very well. And I think like, at a minimum, you can say it was like incredibly technically accomplished.
Yeah.
Like looked amazing objectively and like just ran super well. Anyway, especially since that thing came out, people were just like, why the hell aren't they putting Bluepoint on a Bloodborne remake? Sounds like Bluepoint agreed because they pitched that to Sony and Sony was on board with it and From Software said no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
look, I want to make sure I was joking when I said that it was all but developed and released. That is not true.
Yeah, no, they never started work on it. They picked, in fact, some of the from the sound of this reporting, it sounds like there were people inside of Bluepoint that just kind of assumed that was going to happen, that they would be working on it at some point because it seems so obvious. But there's that's kind of the story because there's really no detail in here about what From's objections might have been or why they didn't want that to happen.
I mean, there was that stuff from Shu on Kind of Funny, right?
Shuhei Yoshida, we should say.
Yeah, that was kind of just like, hey, they just don't want anybody else touching their stuff, you know, like
you can go find Miyazaki quotes from the past talking about like effectively making it sound like Bloodborne is like the game of From Software's that is closest to his heart for whatever reason. Like it doesn't necessarily say exactly why. Although, like, okay, this has been, again, it's been over 10 years. Aren't there some, like, there's only some definitely, like, themes of, like, motherhood and stuff in Bloodborne, right? I mean,
there's a little bit of that in all the Souls stuff.
Fair, yes. And anyway, I mean, for whatever reasons, like, it seems like Bloodborne might have been a very personal game to him based on some past interview comments.
I mean, I'll go you one better. I imagine them allowing Demon Souls to be remade the way it was probably them just kind of testing the waters to be like, well, what would it look like if they touched one of those things? And it was the thing they were not going to go back to anytime soon, so why not? But
well, the other thing I should jump in with, I don't know that they could have said no in that case because Sony did publish Demon Souls.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have a rights thing to claim.
This was before Dark Souls was kind of the game that made them a household name and gave them more pull in terms of deal making, so I think they may not have been able to stop that.
So on that level too, I have to imagine that if it really does come down to this, then really all it is that From Software does not want people touching their shit unless they specifically sign off on it. And
that's possible.
And I kind of get it. Like they're such specialized games, and they have such a rabid fan base that if you're in any kind of mentality of brand control for that kind of thing. Yeah, I could see them saying, like, it doesn't matter how good they are at it. We don't want them changing content or doing anything without our overseeing it.
Yeah. Yep.
So it'll never happen.
And like, I certainly don't mean this as a low key diss against any other developer because every developer cares about the games they're making. But
totally.
Like,
yeah.
From like clearly really fucking cares about, and Miyazaki himself has talked about this repeatedly. Like he's in the weeds on every game they make, like twiddling knobs, changing variables, like fine-tuning design, like nonstop right up until a game comes out. Like they really, really take the design of their games seriously.
Yeah.
And I'll say not only that, I don't think From is in a position where they're in the break glass in case of emergency. Make a Bloodborne remake. They are kind of ascendant right now.
Dog,
and
they
dominating.
They just farted out a fucking Elden Ring multiplayer game and people loved it. Like
that game rules. Like it's good.
Like they have no need right now to do anything they don't want to do.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
We're not. And did that like Switch only one come out?
No, the Youngbloods. That's still
Duskbloods.
I'm sorry, Duskbloods.
Duskbloods. Yeah, that's still on the horizon. Off? Yeah,
I think didn't they say this year? I'm pretty sure when they announced that it was that's a this year game.
Okay. So they said anyway.
Yeah, we're not in the man. There's nothing left for them. I wish they just put Bloodborne out.
People are still rapidly consuming everything they put out.
And that could be another thing. Maybe they just don't want to. Maybe they want people to be like, what the fuck, man? Get into Elden Ring. Bloodborne is great, but like, here's our hot jam.
We'll get around to it eventually. We got other shit on the plate.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out as this industry trumbles along.
And to be clear, please don't blame FromSoft for killing Blue Point. Like, that's not what happened here. This is I've seen a couple of people misinterpret this as that was the thing that could have saved Blue Point if they had signed off on it or something. I don't think that there's any indication in the story that, like, somehow that Bloodborne remake being approved would have been the thing that saved them long term. Like, no. Sony was going to do what Sony was going to do.
And there's some other stuff in there about Blue Point basically just could not put another pitch together that convinced Sony that it was worth
holding on to them.
Yeah, or just funding another project. Like, there's talking, I don't remember if we talked about this last week. There's talking here about they pitched a second remake of Shadow of the Colossus,
which is bizarre.
I don't understand.
It's just kind of insane because that first remake, A, was already very good and competent, and B, came out in 2018. Like, the pitch, maybe this was reported last week, because I think the pitch for that might have included new content that they were going to develop for it. So it would not have just been another remake.
But it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, like, it's just crazy that only came out 8 years ago. On the PS4, it still looks quite good.
Yeah.
And there's, like you were alluding to, Brad, there's more reporting in here about maybe some of what was happening behind the scenes,
right,
with Sony and Blue Point, but it's still a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I mean, it seems like maybe they were kind of being tasked with more than they were set up to handle. Like, I think he mentions in here, it was only 70 people, which is not that big these days, and I want to make sure I'm citing this. Yes, yeah, like he basically says that they, most of their expertise was in art and engineering, as a studio mostly working on remakes of another studio's games would be. They didn't have a lot of designers, is what I'm saying. Like, they did not necessarily have the in-house design staff to,
like, whole cloth
get going on their own projects to the degree they were maybe trying to.
It's just with so many remakes coming out, it just seems like Blue Point would be working for years, right? Like, there's just and with a proven track record of quality remakes, you'd think they wouldn't be wanting for anybody to come to them to remake something.
We have not gotten a developer on that God of War trilogy, have we?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I don't think we've even seen footage or much.
No,
it's just a logo. Really.
Yeah.
Basically just a logo. I don't think there's even a Wikipedia page for it yet. Because I think there's literally nothing but what was in that announcement video.
Yeah. I better hurry up. Got some that's a lot of game to remake if you want that to come out anytime soon. All right. So we shift gears into not necessarily a remake, more of a re-envisioning of things like plastic instruments and note lanes. And Alex, you're sighing. Isn't this what you wanted? Didn't you want the grand return of the plastic instrument scene?
Maybe. I don't know. All right, look. Let me preface this next story by saying, I know I have a history with some of the people that are making the product we're about to talk about. I worked at Harmonix. The people we are talking about are ex-RedOctane, who were the direct competitors to Harmonix during the Rock Band and Guitar Hero heyday. And I want to emphasize, I have zero ill will or competitive anything left for any of that stuff because everyone is so far afield of where that stuff was now that it does not matter. And I want games in this space to come out and succeed. That is the thing I want more than anything. I don't care if it's RedOctane or anyone else. So when I come to you and I say this opening trailer that they've put out for Stage Tour, the product that was sort of rumored to be in development after those that wave of guitars and announced drums were made, but that hardware maker, was it CRKD is the name of the company, I think, that makes that stuff.
I don't remember, yeah.
It's those letters in some order. Anyway.
Okay, good.
And some of the ex-Yarg developers that were working on that fan project have gone over to work on this thing. So all of these things combined, I would love to see a version of this game that works well, is successful, and continues the plastic instrument genre for years to come. The trailer they showed, they should not have put out.
Yeah.
Was it too corny? Was it of a different time?
It doesn't look like they are taking this seriously.
Like, yeah. I don't want to be rude, but I feel like a lot of the footage of the players is maybe not amazing.
It's beyond not amazing. It looks like they have not hired animators yet.
It's a bit stilty. Like none of them are moving around at all. Yeah. They're just standing very rigidly playing instruments. Also, like the big thing for me, if this game's coming out this year, no music at all.
No. There's a song in the trailer, but that's it.
Is that even a real like a licensed song? I think it is,
but it's not anything that big, I don't think.
I didn't know if that was
it's a Static X song.
Okay.
And that's not the song you lead with.
Yeah, like some indication at least of where you're going with the lineup of music feels like crucial for an announcement.
So this being ex-Yarg people, I would not be surprised if the hook for this thing ends up being custom music system that is not regulated.
How do you do that in a commercial product, though?
You allow people to build custom files, but you include none of the no licensed material of your own.
How do you sync that to the game then?
Well, you allow them to add files. You can't do it on consoles. That'll never happen. Yeah, on PC, that's what you could do it.
But this has to sell on consoles to be worth doing financially, though, right?
Yeah, because those guitar controllers and such, they are mapped for PlayStation and Xbox. Obviously, you can use them on PC as well, but they do have that controller tech in them.
All of this is where more detail about this product would have been helpful.
And they've chosen to lead with the most inconsequential material, which is what did the people on stage look like? No one cares.
There's just nothing to this.
You see some note lanes, great. They don't include a drum note lane, which is a little bit confusing, but I'm sure they'll get around to it. The big thing is, the thing people want to know right out of the gate is, what is the music going to be like? What does the gameplay look like? The people on stage aspect of this is so beside the point that literally almost none of the fan games even bother to do it. Clone Hero does not really have characters in it. Yarg has some limited amount of that stuff, but not really. It's not the focus. The focus is on the music. And they just chose to lead with not only the wrong thing, but the wrong thing in a bad state.
Yeah, I mean, they do show some Note Highway, but only a little bit. And also, there's absolutely nothing unusual about it. It's 5 buttons like you'd expect. It doesn't seem like there's been innovated in the Note Highway space at all.
No, and look, there's a certain thing I understand about keeping it somewhat familiar for people who grew up playing those other games and can just, pick up and play. But the whole thing with Yarg, and they haven't done this yet, but they're still in their roadmap, I think, was a more advanced drum system. They were talking about a new, Beyond Pro drums thing that would include additional lanes, open and close hi-hat stuff, all of that. And that's still something they're talking about doing for Yarg, but it's if you're coming to the dance with some of the people who worked on that, and you're just making a Rock Band / Guitar Hero clone kind of broadly, I think that's kind of a letdown. I want something that is at least a little bit different, or at least advances things a little bit.
Yeah, I really wonder why they went with this announcement without more meat to it.
If at any point at Harmonix, and I would have to imagine also at Neversoft, if anyone ever said we should announce a game with this amount of gameplay footage, they would have been laughed out of the room. It's just, you need something. You need a person playing a guitar, an actual person playing a guitar controller.
Yeah.
You need a licensed song someone has heard of, and I'm sorry to all the Static X fans out there, this ain't it. And you need some sense of what it is that's going to set it apart from the genre that died out unceremoniously, not even that many years ago.
Yep. They do mention that Gibson Epiphone and Kramer are involved, so they at least have some names to attach to it. But you need
those are the guitar controllers that are already out now.
Yeah, and you need musician names. You need some indication of what this lineup is going to look like.
Yeah, and look, if they're selling this at less than $60 or whatever, and it's more about finding some way to get the money through the music like Rock Band or Guitar Hero did, sure, I can live with that. I don't need a ton of bells and whistles around the edges in that case. But I also think that if you're trying to revive the genre, you need something for people to hang their hat on that isn't just, remember when those games were good?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. This is a hard market to crack back into, right? You're asking a lot of people to stock these things. Even if you're an online retailer, you still got to keep plastic instruments somewhere, right? And
yeah, it's a genre that mostly exists for hobbyists now. And if you're trying to break it back mainstream, you need more than this.
Okay, I'm just looking at their press release. how will the game be sold? There will be a digital download on PC and consoles, so definitely consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Details and pricing is coming in the summer. We'll absolutely offer a guitar bundle.
Mm-hmm.
A physical edition is not totally ruled out. Perhaps a special collector's run. Trying to see if there's anything more, like you said, Alex, about self-charting or a marketplace.
Nothing. They have not said anything to that effect yet.
Drums. Oh, yes, the drum controller will be available before the game launches. Okay.
Yeah, I think they said that's coming out sometime this year. I don't remember
microphones, wired and wireless options. More on the... What about the music? More on that very soon. But yes, expect some absolute banging tunes.
Okay.
And that's... They said they're going to be ready for release holiday, and more is coming soon. So...
I don't know, man. Something about this feels like they were trying to spin this thing up maybe a little too quickly.
Yeah, I'm with you. Everything you said about your trailer should just, like, maybe this isn't for me, but showing a human playing, maybe even showing two humans playing together and having a good time. And show somebody singing. Maybe, what do you do with the licensed stuff? That's a great point. What's the charting going to look like? Can you pass around charts? Will there be a marketplace? Will there be a subscription model? Like, will there be any kind of way to keep this going after you make an investment? People, as we learned, you buy this stuff, you have to store it in your house.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing it regularly, then once you're done, right?
I have so many guitar controllers, dude.
Brad, you still have a drum kit?
Nope.
Gone. You freed yourself.
I never owned anything past the first Rock Band set.
Okay.
And that's been gone for years, and I never will again. No offense to anyone.
No, I get it. Like, it's a commitment, and if you're not that invested, you should not make that commitment.
I wonder, look, this is we're closer to PAX East than not at this point. This would have been a great place to demo that game, right? Like,
maybe they will. You know, in fairness, maybe they'll show up there. Maybe they're saving their. In fact, like, you know, it's not unheard of to do like kind of a tease announcement like this prior to. And this is maybe giving them a lot of credit if they just don't even show up to PAX or whatever. But, like, you know, it could happen that this was like a tease and they will be out with more substance very soon. But I don't know.
I do think the tease has to show something good, though. And that's where they kind of fell apart there.
Yep.
RedOctane Games LLC. RedOctane Games is a company within Embracer Free Mode.
Yep.
Embracer Free Mode is Embracer's 11th operating group.
Great. Oh, Business Unit 11. Got it. Okay.
I hope your next operating group is a Free Mode operating group.
We don't need to get into it. How did RedOctane end up at Embracer?
This is not original RedOctane. Oh,
this is the different. That's right. They started. Yeah, we talked about that ages ago. They started a new company also called RedOctane.
Yes.
All right.
Guitar Hero is still technically owned now by Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, for Activision.
Yeah, because of Activision. Yeah.
Got it. All right. And that is RedOctane. Okay. We got a lot of weird. What is going on with gaming development these days?
Nothing good.
Another one that is maybe a sign of where we're at in terms of development. Highguard, the game by Wildgate. Is that the name of the development team? Wildlight.
Sorry.
Wildlight. Everybody knows the story at this point. It showed at the Game Awards, big high profile trailer. Game comes out, maybe doesn't do gangbusters. There's a lot in between there in terms of expectation and maybe false premises of what the game might be. And, you know, they didn't communicate. It kind of just dropped and so forth and so on. This game launched in January, end of January. By when would you say their first signs of trouble? Mid-February, about a month.
I'd say 2 weeks in.
Yeah, I'd have to look at charts or something. But I mean, they had like 100,000 players the first day or the first week or whatever. It was like a decent numbers out of the gate. But yeah. It was
steep,
pretty
drop.
rapid fall off.
Not too long ago, we got the first signs that they are scaling back. There are some layoffs. They are trimming the company.
Significant layoffs. It was a big chunk.
And that also there might have been some funding that was in there. There's some reporting about money that was maybe Tencent was involved, and that maybe things had not realized the potential that Tencent was hoping.
Yeah, I didn't get around to reading it, but that's also from another Jason Schreier expose.
Right.
Man's out there doing the legwork.
And so we are, I think, sadly, and sadly for the developers, Wildlight, and also for this industry, now at the end of this story.
Yeah.
As Highguard and Wildlight are done.
Yeah. The game is going offline.
They're doing a big patch update to put out some new stuff.
It's kind of a lot.
I assume it was stuff that was nearly done, so here you go.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, new character, new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Like, it's insane. Those are such core, fundamental parts of a live service game that they're just now being added as the game is dying or going offline. Like, it's sad. But yes, that all had to be basically done.
Yeah, and then that's it. They will be going offline, and that is they'll be online until March. Servers will remain online until March 12th. So, as at the time of this recording, that's not a long time.
No.
Yeah, one detail from that Schreier piece I had missed is that after that round of layoffs recently, there were fewer than 20 people left at the studio. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's kind of no coming back from that.
No, it's hard to bring it back.
You can't keep a game going of that size with less than 20 people.
And I'll just say, like, I've seen some people discussing this, and I think from people who seem like they know what they're talking about, I don't think you can just draw a 1-to-1 that said Tencent pulled funding, they're done. Like, I know Tencent was a significant investor in this thing, but there's also some talk, and some former Wildgate employees were out there saying, like, it sounds like there may have also been a major problem with management here, where studio heads itself were specifically trying to ride the idea of, well, we made Apex Legends. Like, clearly we know what we're doing. We think we can be different. We can do this, even as people in the studio that itself were saying, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
There's probably another or
I think
two
there's
other
layers to
Schreier pieces to come out about.
There's more layers to uncover.
That's possible. I don't know. I have a hard time ever condemning somebody for just making a game people don't like, because making games is very difficult. And then, like, the alchemy of making a thing that people are going to like is, I mean, pretty poorly positioned for the current market.
That's
like,
the problem.
You're not wrong.
It's that, but there is hubris attached to it potentially too.
But some earned. I mean,
it's not like it comes from nowhere. They worked on Apex Legends. Like, these people did have a pedigree.
These are the things that, you know. Okay, here's the dumb question, and I'm just bringing it up because why not? We're at the end of this story. Does the Game Awards announcement have any bearing on how this game did?
No.
You say no?
I think if anything, it probably got them more players on day one.
I kind of tend to lean towards
I think
exposure in any way is a good thing.
I think, I mean, look at me. Look at a bunch of people were just like, I need to know what this game is. By the time it came out, I was like, there is just enough buzz, good and bad, around this thing that I have got to play it for myself. Like,
Alex, it looks like you're ready for a counterpoint.
I'm of two minds about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that you're basically right that that is not the prevailing factor that killed them by any stretch. I don't think that's what happened. I think what did happen is that what that game would have been without the Game Awards announcement would have been a quiet failure. It would have come out, it would have had an initial, like, oh shit, some Apex people worked on this. What is it? Oh, okay. And then just, like, people would have stopped talking about it very quickly. What this did do was inflict probably more stress and trauma on the people who were working on this game, which is to say that it put an added level of pressure and intensity to the whole thing that wouldn't have been there otherwise. So they couldn't be a quiet failure. They had to be a thing that was devoured by the online audience, the way that all these other things that come and go and are devoured by online audiences tend to be.
Like, it had the Eye of Sauron on it.
Yes, and I think all that did was make things worse, not necessarily cause the problem.
Yeah, I'm sure it was not a fun environment for 6 weeks to work in until launch or whatever, but I mean, I genuinely think fewer people would have downloaded and tried this game if they had just kind of...
Yeah, I think you're right.
...announced and launched it on the same day than the way things happened.
If you'll indulge me for a second here, do you think that there is a world where it gains steam from that slower buildup of...
Nope.
It's not good enough for that.
Nope.
Okay.
If it was amazing, yes. But it's not.
It's fine, but it's not that differentiated from however many other shooters of, like, the stuff they were some of their talk ahead of launch about like a new kind of multiplayer shooter or whatever. Like, no, sorry,
it's not that.
I think for the Game Awards part, I think the biggest issue, I tend to agree with you, Brad, that I think this was in general a positive thing to get the eyeballs on it. I just think they lost control of a narrative. I think it was the radio silence after that.
I mean,
that was maybe
they weren't ready for it.
Part of it, you know, is like they chose what to put out about this game, and like it did not make a great first impression the way they chose to market it, and they, you know, that could have gone differently with a different announcement. But again, I don't think the game's fine. Like, I don't hate it. It was okay, and it sounds like the 5-player mode and some of the other stuff they were adding.
Yeah.
Were not bad additions. Like, it sounds
smart
like
additions. Yeah.
Sounds like I saw something about, I guess probably before they got funding pulled or whatever, that they were looking to make tweaks to like the looting phase to make that faster, and like it could have evolved into something more interesting. In fact,
could it have been an early access rollout?
I think they were maybe, I don't know. I don't think the funding model was ever going to,
because it's free to play,
allow for that.
Yeah.
Like, frankly, I think like anybody who has funded a live service game in the last, like, I don't know, when did this start? 5 years ago or something? I feel like, or maybe a little more recently, has just been in a constant decision-making process since then toward the projects they've funded of how much more do we put into this?
Yeah.
Like, we see which way the winds are blowing, but like, it's like Sony is the perfect example because they had like, what was it? Like 10 live service games in development, or 12, like some insane number, right? And look at how many of those they canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they also had the poster child for with Concord of the.
People are still smarting from that one.
I mean, that's one like, to beat, right?
This game barely lasted longer than Concord did,
and it's wild, right? 45 days.
But like it's got to have just been a constant process since like the ground started eroding out from under the live service market. Like, it has to have been a constant process for anybody in a funding position to just be like, how much more do we put into this? Like, how deep in are we on this?
Yeah.
Should we see this through? Clearly, like, Sony was in a position not to see a bunch of those projects through.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and you know, like, I'm not surprised that there was no additional funding for this, because like, I'm sure this was just on the edge of, you know, it was on the right side of like, well, go ahead and finish the game. Like, you can get it out there. We'll see what it does, but there is no more money to come unless this thing is a huge hit.
Right.
What a weird state of things.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if they were cut to the bone like this, where they had less than 20 people left, like, this was inevitable anyway, but you can see it if you look at the Steam player numbers from around the time those layoffs got announced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the player count dropped to basically nothing. Like, there's definitely a bit of a feedback mechanism thing going on where even the player base that might have been interested in sticking with it sees something like that, and they're like, well, what's the point?
Yeah, why am I even
like,
here?
I'm not gonna keep playing this if it's clearly moribund.
I do wonder what Wildlight's expectations were, and Tencent's, if the reporting is true that they had, you know, kind of milestones that they needed to reach. I'm just curious what they were, like, what they needed to be, like, where they needed to hit.
It's hard to say. I bet their conversion rate was like abysmal, if I had to guess, because even out of the close to 100,000 players or whatever they had originally, like, how many people felt confident in putting money into that game even on day one?
But
like,
then
even if they liked it, even if they really liked it, like the negative buzz around the game itself, the general fatigue with live service games, like there were so many question marks about the future of this game, even for people who were into it, that I bet the uptake on spending money on this game was very, very low.
But then you get stuff that's, you know, you still have things like Arc Raiders, which I assume is just doing well.
It's huge. It is fucking huge. I don't know if you like they've sold. I'm pretty sure they're well past 10 million. What is it, 12 million or something?
And so,
like, Arc Raiders is like full on phenomenon, basically.
So, like, I think that's still going to drive people to be like, we can do it. Like, we can get out there. I just think it's such a risky. I mean, we're back in the MMO rush, right? And then we're at the end of the MMO rush.
Well, yeah. I mean, Arc Raiders is the culmination, though, of the extraction shooters are going to be the next battle royale cycle. Somebody finally hit with one, you know?
Right.
Like, but as opposed to the PUBG thing where the first one was the big one until Fortnite came along. Like, it took a while for an Arc Raiders to happen, right?
It did, and this was less that, right? This is a little more Overwatch.
This was not quite like Arc Raiders is a fundamentally pretty different experience from there's certainly some PUBG in there, but it's not quite
still
like
extraction shooter. It's still loot.
Yeah, but
it's not a versus.
Highguard definitely is just sort of taking bits and pieces from other genres. It didn't necessarily feel like a new thing.
Yes, I agree.
In and of itself. You know what's weird? We should move on, but the response to the Marathon Server Slam seems pretty positive.
It was not bad, yeah.
Like I avoided it because we got other games to play, and also it's out now, and I just wanted to play the final version, which I'm actually quite interested to do. But everything I saw about this most recent round, people seem pretty into it. Actually,
that's great.
And I actually wonder if Arc Raiders has primed people to be more interested in extraction shooters. Potentially.
I need to jump in. I was kind of more focusing on Resident Evil for this one, but I want to jump in and see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it.
That's good to hear. I'm still pulling for Bungie, and
time will tell. Like I don't know. I'm not going to say it's going to be a huge release or anything like that, but it just compared to, the sentiment around that alpha last year was like pretty rough.
Yes, I think tepid would be putting it mildly. Well, best of luck to everyone who was at Wildlights and whatever's next for them. Obviously, talented developers. I hope you find work and figure it all out. There, it's just in this industry just seems maybe we've been around it a lot. This just feels very brutal. This just feels so rough.
Not to add to the brutality, and this is just a kind of breaking thing that we don't have to spend a lot of time here on because there isn't much to add, but Build a Rocket Boy just laid off more people on top of that and are now still out there thumping the idea that corporate espionage is why Mind's Eye failed and that they are rigorously investigating what took place there.
Weird.
While also laying off a bunch of people and sending that as the message to them to say, thank you for all your hard work. By the way, we were ruined by corporate espionage and we're going to prosecute to this full extent of the law. So what the fuck is going on over there?
I don't know. Can
you imagine getting laid off and getting that message in your inbox?
Sorry about the corporate espionage. Hope you have
Sorry, someone ruined the launch of our broken ass game. Don't know who it was.
This would have been a real winner. I don't know what's going on over there.
I think the Benz maybe has more pressing concerns now.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more news story here.
It's not about anyone getting fired, thankfully.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. The God of War live action Amazon series has released a still, the first taste of what Kratos and son may look like when it comes to a small screen near you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say, this ain't it. I don't know. This ain't it.
The spirit of Halloween is strong.
I don't think this looks terrible.
They could have put out. Look, I'm a big God of War fan, and especially on the new ones, I really like them. This just looks like not a good production still. Like this is not a good action still.
That's what it is.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, that I can see. I mean,
this looks like somebody shot this like,
this is just a random frame you grabbed out of a 30-second clip that you were given.
It's a picture of Kratos and he's sitting there. And boy. Firing it out, and he's looking over. The problem is, here is the number one issue with this still.
Okay.
I feel like I can see the bald cap. Like I feel like it's the scrunching of the brow and in this shot, and it feels like that is the costuming problem here.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Bald caps are hard, right?
I'm looking at it up close. I don't know that he is wearing a bald cap, but the problem, there's a couple of things.
It looks like he is.
It does look like he is. They have done a bad job with the colored paint on him, and
have they?
Yeah, I don't think this looks good. I don't think the Kratos markings look very good. But the bigger thing is you have chosen a frame where this actor is standing in one of the most awkward positions you could possibly be standing in, and somew decided that's going to promote your show.
I think that is maybe the problem. Yeah, more than anything.
He may have his head shaved, and it looks like he might have his head shaved, but it has the spirit of Halloween look and credits to Jeff Bakalar, who I think did a good bit about this being a Spirit of Halloween set of somebody wearing a bald cap. It looks like my Long Island friends' dads dressing up for Halloween.
A little bit.
Fucking Kevin, get your ass over here. Give me a beer. Boy, give me a beer.
I think I have to give credit to Bakalar. I mean, I think the Spirit Halloween joke is extremely obvious, but his idea for what they would put on the package, which is War God. War God is exactly what a generic ass Halloween costume of this would call that character. War God and boy.
Mm-hmm. I think for your first production still, we didn't have to do an action shot. We could have just done the pose, right? Show me the character.
Yeah.
This has been an ongoing problem recently. I think these studios are doing a bad job of giving first impressions of the things they're promoting.
Yeah.
My counterpoint here, and I don't care about this show. I'm probably not even going to watch it.
Yeah.
Not the hugest God of War fan. I just don't know how much better you could do with these characters. Like, I feel like Kratos was always going to look a little ridiculous in live action, frankly.
Yes.
You're not wrong, but we just came off of 400 years of Marvel shit where they had to make characters that were the most ridiculous characters look like something on a screen. And for the most part, they pulled it off, I think.
Yeah.
I'll go you one better. Everyone in Fallout would seemingly look fucking ridiculous put into a real-world scenario, and somehow they threaded that needle on that show where the cartoonish, Fallout fucking vault people costumes and all the weird, like, mutant stuff and everything actually works really well in a live-action environment. They found the right mix of what Fallout looks like and how you make it work for TV. They didn't do this here, at least with this one image.
Give me the production still of Kratos and even Atreus, like, uppercutting a freaking satyr with an axe, right?
Yeah.
That effect shot's not done yet, Vinny.
Like, show me him with just blood spurting over his face as he's tearing a jaw apart. Give me some show me him running.
I'd love to help you. Can't do it. Sorry. Best I can do is having him kind of crouch down like he's about to toe tie his shoe.
He looks like he's about to yell something at a Little League game that's about to get him kicked out,
Boy, what did I tell you? Throw the change up.
Needs to put a Michelob Light in his hands.
Totally.
Yeah.
Choke up. Choke up. Who's that pitcher? That pitcher's 25 years old. He's I don't know. It's when is this coming out? This is soon, right? Let me just double check. God of War, Amazon. We got 2 seasons of this. Journey to the Highest Peak begins. So
I love your enthusiasm here.
I didn't love straight remakes on. Apparently, a lot of people did for Last of Us stuff. I don't like straight remakes. I think the Fallout stuff was the way to go.
I don't disagree.
Although there is no God of War without the God of War, though. So I don't even. Again, it's kind of like I don't even know what you would do.
You got so much time between the end of the Greek God of War and the beginning of this Norse God of War. Fill in a blank.
I bet, but that gets really tricky with the rights holder, though, where, like, typically they're not going to want you telling an original story about their marquee character.
Do some side biz. Look, they got that whole Sons of Sparta thing, right? You're telling me that, was it Owlcat Games, the developer on that, is more entitled to spin a tale than Amazon? They want this thing to do gangbusters. I'm sure they didn't write it whole cloth. I'm sure they got notes.
Usually rights holders are pretty touchy about stuff like about what happens with their kind of like their hero assets or whatever.
Are we gonna get Mimir's head?
I don't know, but I missed that Mandy Patinkin is in this, so there's that at least.
He's an older gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah. He's Odin, which is, sure.
Odin isn't the most action-oriented character in those games.
No.
Mimir is in this.
Yeah. I just wonder if are we actually going to have a CG head attached to Kratos' belt the entire time? Because in a game that works because you need a little banter. In a series.
You can.
Oh my God. Mimir is played by the actor who played the president in Death Stranding 2.
Wait,
which president?
The president.
Wait.
The old dude with the earring who gets styled on in the server farm at the end.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he's going to look exactly like that as a satyr's head. Yeah.
What a world.
What a world. I can't wait to see the rest of this because you're going to have Brock in there and Sindri, the dwarves. You know, there's going to be a lot of costuming happening here.
Okay, I should say, in fairness, that same actor played Mimir in the video games, so it's whoever played Mimir in the game is also playing him in the show.
Okay. Do you know if the likeness in Death Stranding 2 is that the voice?
I think it is.
I think all actors are in that, I think.
Okay.
Well, except for the ones that are like
There's
celebrities.
A couple.
Yeah.
Yes, it's him. I'm looking at a picture of him.
Well, look, this is Amazon's going to obviously be bought by Paramount, Skydance, Time Warner, Discovery, HBO soon enough. So, you know, we'll just see.
Soon we'll all fall under the sway of the Ellisons.
I'm joking clearly, but
I'm not.
Who has more money? Actually, I'm not sure. Bezos.
Really?
I think Bezos has more money than Larry Ellison, but actually, it's probably pretty close.
Are we doing market cap? Or are we doing like pure like? Are you counting Oracle in that? Or are you counting?
I don't know what the. I mean, yeah, they're public. Who can say? Although, in both cases, a lot of their money comes from owning shares of the public company. But
yeah.
I think that Ellison. I shouldn't know this. I think Ellison might be right behind Bezos on the list or something.
Well, is that post-divorce Bezos or is that pre-divorce Bezos?
I think that's even post.
Okay, man. I'll tell you what. These folks got too much money.
Yeah,
that is in fact the case. Bezos is 3. Larry Ellison is 4.
And it is the case that these folks have too much money.
Yep.
They should give some of it to us.
I'll take a check.
Yeah,
it's okay. Or if you want me to join the club, I could also have too much money. I'll tell you guys how it is.
Yep. Steve Ballmer is still top 10.
Really?
Weird.
Kind of good for him.
I bet he doesn't spend a lot. I bet he's actually pretty good with his money.
He's not out there much now, is he?
Yeah.
Does
he doesn't make a lot of big splashy things happen.
Yeah,
he's
days. mostly just as he owns the Clippers. I think that's his big thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're off on a tangent, but is Wozniak on that list?
No, fuck no.
Oh, man.
Absolutely. Dude, Wozniak gave away a bunch of his stock at the time of Apple's sale. Because Jobs kind of fucked everybody over on that. And he actually gave a bunch of his shares to Apple employees. When it went public, he also has given a bunch of money away, I think just to education.
I want him to have a bunch of money. It's man of the people.
Woz seems all right.
Woz is where I would be, where it's I've got more than enough to live on. I don't need 9 or 10 figures. Well, he was never going to be 10 figures, but I don't need 9 figures of wealth. That's obscene.
It's obscene. It's disgusting, actually. All right, but I'll try it.
Yeah, let's run an experiment. Let's see how it goes.
Like I always say, this is it. If you guys want to try and make me a billionaire, I'll tell you how it goes. You guys can see if I change. We need the science. We need the science on this. We need to know. All right, that's going to do it for the news. We have an email address here. It is podcast@nextlander.com. Podcast@nextlander.com. Brad Shoemaker, where does the time go? We are deep into this podcast.
Straight in the trash.
How about one or two here?
This is a quick informational one from Zach in Minnesota.
Okay.
Basically just giving us our federally mandated Mass Effect minute.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
For the week.
Okay.
Heard you asking about changes for the Legendary Edition and the pre-order DLC recently.
We did talk about that, yes.
I just did a whole run of that trilogy and got 4 platinums as a result. So, Mass Effect 2 is largely unchanged, but does come with all the DLC included, most importantly, the Dragon Age armor.
Hell yeah. Okay, good.
So I think the Dragon Age, wasn't that the pre-order bonus or something?
Either pre-order bonus or...
I don't think it was a snack tie-in. I'm pretty sure that was a...
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't do any of the snack tie-in stuff.
Or with the snack tie-in, this is exactly the conversation we had before. Maybe with the snack tie-ins just 3. I can't remember, actually.
I think that was just 3.
That might be right. Anyway, yes, Mass Effect 2 Unchanged does include all DLC, including Dragon Age armor. Otherwise, it's mostly small bug fixes and some gameplay tweaks. Mass Effect 3 has all of its DLC as well, and the reworked ending by default. Most importantly, you get Javik automatically, and I cannot stress how insane it was to lock that character behind pre-order DLC originally.
Agreed.
Small gameplay tweaks as well, and bug fixes, but no multiplayer. Mass Effect 1 basically plays like a different game. The HUD is different, every weapon does gobs more damage, is more accurate with reduced sway. Most abilities are tweaked to be more like 2 and 3. Controller layout is more modern, the hacking minigame was replaced and doesn't penalize you for losing. The Mako behaves like an actual vehicle, can be repaired in motion, has reliable physics, and has boosters that go faster. It's wonderful because that game is a shock to go back without the changes. The last interesting change is for trophy hunters. 1, 2, and 3 all have their own platinum, but the collection itself has a 4th platinum for beating each game on Insanity, so that difficulty mode no longer blocks you from each game's platinum.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. There is your exhaustive breakdown of what's different in that thing.
Now we just need somebody to do the matrix of what the DLC was at launch for 2 and 3.
It was quite the matrix from what I recall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. One more email, Brad.
Paulo from New Jersey.
Okay.
Regarding the issue of Tom Paris and Nick Locarno.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
My understanding is that they have such similar backstories because the Voyager writers originally intended for the ship's pilot to be Nick Locarno. The writers though felt that Locarno's character came across as too irredeemable. So they pivoted early to creating a new character that borrowed many of Locarno's features. However, they couldn't find an actor that fit this new character the way that Robert Duncan McNeill had portrayed Locarno, so eventually they just decided to have McNeill audition for the part. The rest was history. Personally, I think the writers underestimated how receptive the audience would have been to a redemption arc for Locarno. McNeill would end up reprising his role as Locarno in the cartoon Star Trek Lower Decks, where Locarno was the main villain of Season 4. The Lower Decks characters have a number of arguments about whether he looks like Tom Paris.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah. Also, Vinny, forget everything you just heard.
I didn't hear anything.
If and when, you won't remember it. It's not specific enough.
Nobody,
I don't know. I mean, what I mean is there's nothing really specific enough in that episode you already know that Locarno is somebody who did bad stuff and went to jail or whatever.
Sure, that's generous of you. Or the information just impacted off the surface. And
if we ever, it would be like 3 years from now if we ever get to that episode, so it doesn't matter.
If ever. I will also say, I've seen some people float the idea that there may have been a royalty issue involved with the original writer of the TNG episode versus using them in a full-time series. I
mentioned that last week. I have also read that, but as far as I can tell, that's as much speculation as anything.
Sure. But what this person describes makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Especially if Locarno does show up on Lower Decks. But that said, I don't know what would have made Locarno so irredeemable. Like he's a piece of shit in that one episode, but like
definitely sucks.
But he's a piece of shit in the way a young dumbass would be, and nothing about it struck me as this person can never be redeemed.
Yeah, sure, yes, I agree with you.
So do I. I agree as well.
We'll remember that when we talk about it later.
Yeah, and Tom Petty.
Yes, Tom Petty.
Paris. Tom Petty.
What is that, season 4? That sounds right.
That is season 5.
Is it
the Locarno episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's season 5.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we may never get there. I don't know. It's a long ways off.
Well, what's not a long ways off is the end of this podcast.
Okay.
It's been a long, I don't even know, road?
Wrong series. Yes, long road, but wrong series.
Man, I don't really know how that song goes except from Rory singing it, so I'm just doing an impression.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
You don't need to know more than that.
It's been long. That's it. I don't know. I don't know. He screams it. Anyway.
It's been a long time, but my time is finally near.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's Enterprise?
I don't even like that show.
It's not good.
That's going to do it for our show. We are nearing the end here, but not the end of our glorious multi-year journey to explore podcasts and content that no one has ever seen before, including a movie no one has ever seen before. Alex, what's happening on the Watchcast?
I don't know. We're watching movies. Like this is a short month. We're each just picking one. Vinny's pick of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is up on the Patreon right now. Next week we will be tackling Annihilation.
What a pairing.
Yes. We're really going for some tonal swings because then we're rounding out the month with Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads film. So this will be a nonsensical month of films, but I think enjoyable in very different ways.
Brad, Annihilation, your pick. You've seen it.
Yeah.
I think we've all seen it. Yeah. I'm excited to revisit it.
My memory of it is very spotty.
I was thinking maybe I would try and read the book before we got to it. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the book's quite different also.
Yeah. So that is the Watchcast. Go check that out. We have a Planorama going up this week. That is also going to be on the Patreon, patreon.com/Nextlander. Also, of course, the Ramblecast from this week. You can go check that out, video or audio version over on the Patreon. There's so much stuff happening on the Patreon, patreon.com/Nextlander. Like we said earlier, we're supported by you. Mm-hmm. We're independent. We try not to do much except we have our podcast ads, which you may or may have not heard, may or may have not. There you go. That's how we do it.
We got it.
Because we want to be funded by you. We try to do these things. You allow us to do things on YouTube, which don't get monetized because of ridiculous rights holding things, but we don't sweat it because we have awesome supporters backing us up, like you listening to this podcast, and other people who have gone to patreon.com/Nextlander, people who have gone there and found tiers full of goodies that are right for them. There is one tier there that gets their name read on this here show, and it is the Mysterious Benefactors tier. And I'm going to read those names for you right now, starting with Alex. The Minnesota vibes are getting better, but still pretty bad.
Thank you for the update.
Alpha Rhythm. Oh, this is the one, Brad, you knew. OpenAI Delinda S. S,
yeah.
David L. Kelly F. Brian Lucier. Skywarp. Jason Grimm. John Hubbard. Thordreen. Evan Cook. Jerry Lee. Raccoon City's own Deirdre. Pugtato. Bunny Witch. Jad Rita. Statics. Sending good vibes back to Minnesota and beyond. Brian Murphy, Randy Duax, Randy Alderson, Andrew Tiebkin, Alex Wu, It's Me JP, Edward Chick, Andrew Slosky, Steve Lynn, Matthew Herrig, David Campos, and Tyler Treese. Those are our mysterious benefactors for this week. Again, they've supported us. They let us go out there and do things like that 80s cartoon intro on platforms that absolutely don't want us doing 80s cartoon intros live or recorded or otherwise. So we thank them and everyone else who support us for that. We are currently doing a run in Resident Evil Requiem with Abby Russell. Your support pays for that as well. We have Will Smith joining us to check out all the fun multiplayer stuff going on with our multiplayer madness streams. That's our series. That's it.
Sure.
Everything needs a series name.
Probably play some marathon on Monday.
Probably play some marathon. You help support that as well. You help support all the fine people in the broader Nextlander family that come through and lend their time here. Never been a better podcast. I can go on and on and on, but you know, it is all from the support that you bring in by going to nextlander.com or patreon.com/Nextlander and supporting where you can. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Compensating guests, not an insignificant line item.
Yep.
No,
So like the support definitely very much does help there.
Yeah, and we feel pretty strongly about it. And so we thank you for allowing us to do that. It is people's times. We came from not to get on a soapbox, but we came from, I think, a part of this industry that was like, you play games for fun. You do it for fun. Sometimes people are coming on and they're giving up 2 to 3 hours of their day.
Yeah, people are busy.
And they should be compensated for it. So we appreciate you allowing us to set an example there to get compensated for your time, folks. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I think everybody whose time we stole for this podcast, there is no compensation.
Let's send them home, Vinny.
Let's send them home. I do want to pitch one more thing, though. In addition to our Monday stream, which we did for the Steam Next Fest, our Abby's Requiem playthrough, come join us on Friday because Samantha Coleman's going to be there. We're going to do a grab bag, and then she's going to have a project she's been working on that we're going to be able to demo with Samantha. So come join us there.
Very exciting.
I'm excited to check that out.
Yes.
It's got a vibe if you look at the screenshots.
It's very cool. I think there's a Steam page up. The name is multi-worded, and I don't want to get it wrong.
Versus is basically the name. It's like Versus : hyperkinetic aerial joust.
There's a hyperkinetic aerial joust.
But Versus is basically the name of the game.
So come check out a demo of that.
I think Danny O'Dwyer or somebody that I saw posting about it basically kind of described it as like Wipeout meets Joust.
I love both of those things.
Same.
So curious to check that out, and we'll check out some other things with Samantha while we're there, while the streams are open. But thank you very much for joining us and supporting all the people that we have on with, again, if I haven't said it already, your support.
Yeah.
Alex Navarro, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Shoemaker.
Thank you.
And we'll be back next week. Who knows what's going to happen in this industry next week, but I want to be here to talk about it with everybody. So we'll see. Fingers crossed it's some positive news for next week. You'll have to tune in to find out. See you, everybody. Bye.